There you go.
I was seeing something about. I saw on the orphan chart. What the?
Yes, we now have an orphan chart.
Good
That is
God.
something that.
It's
Um,
because
Well,
I already forgot what the kid from the first session was called, and that way it will be easier to keep track of them as they appear.
Yeah.
For me.
this one dead. This one dead.
yeah.
Let's show the stream the orphan
Can be
chart.
like an
This is
advent
the orphan chart.
calendar.
This is our orphan chart for the Orcs orphanage. There's only 3 kids in there at the moment. You're not doing very well.
Maybe show it for the stream
There's
if they can't see it.
31. That's the assumption, but I only know of 2.
Okay. So
Yeah.
so these are the ones you know anything about. I'm with you.
Yeah, that's basically for now. And as I learn to know more, then I will fill out the chart.
Okay.
You gotta add some question marks to those kids.
Yeah. Could be in a stew. Could be, who knows?
It might be just, an older, an older, really short older guy who's just pretending to be an orphanage for free food, or an orphan for free food.
It's
like a 40-year-old man who just has to shave every day so he looks like an orphan.
I'm guessing a vampire who can tell, like, molecule skin flakes can tell if someone's, like, 70 and looking for a free meal. But,
Yeah, we're not the UK Immigration Authority.
yeah.
He eats really healthy and drinks lots of water, so he looks very young.
We'll see where things go this week. This week's a more, I wouldn't say free form, but, like, it is generally more out there as things go. So, let me just put that away. I'm in no rush, by the way. We can start whenever we start because it's not a big. There is some story this week. There is some story, some main story, but it's mainly you getting used to New Corinth and where you are and the city and how it works and the jobs that you'll be doing week by week as we go in. So, that was 1 second. There we go. All right, I'm gonna. Right. Okay. So, what are we doing? Haha. So, are you guys all going to be in the library when we start? I'm guessing. I'm guessing that's where you want to be.
Yeah.
Just chilling out,
Yeah.
doing your own thing.
Yeah, makes sense.
I mean, how long has it been since the whole?
So, it's been a week. So you've had a week generally. Generally, what we do is when we finish a session of Blackcoats, we let the characters chill out for a week, so they can rest all of their wounds. You can heal. They can get rid of their stress, which you did at the end of last session. You should have done it at the start of this session, so it would have been housekeeping for this session. But I was just happy with doing it last session and getting it out of the way, basically. If you would like some ambiance, because everyone likes ambiance. There is some ambiance for you. But yeah, so it's been about a week. So you guys have been in the old library, the old Anvane District Library. It is a rundown building, as we covered last week. It is a building with a domed ceiling, which is made of paned glass, but a few of the frames have like been kicked in or have fallen in through disuse and rust. And generally there's a few vines dangling down from there. There's 3 floors to it. So there's the main floor on the lower level of this circular building, where Sangern and Dennis tend to hang out, because it's basically it's more open area. So if they want to practice with weapons, or they want to, just do and lay down some. You're sleeping on mats at the moment, so that you're not really doing very well for yourselves, even as Blackcoats. It has one entrance, which is a large set of panel doors, which are not on their hinges. So Sangern has basically propped them up into the doorway, and every single time he wants to, or you want to answer the door, he's basically the doorman now. He has to pull them. He's the only one strong enough to pull them aside and move them to the side so you can open the door. The middle level is generally surrounded by books. So if you see on the picture there of the video, there's bookshelves like that, all in a circular way all the way around, and you can pick them off if you can read. You can pick them off and have a bit of a read. There's no problem with that. People have. I'm guessing a few of you've stuck candles here, there, every now and then, just to give yourself some light when you're moving about the place. It is dark in here even during the day. So even during the day at midday, it's pretty gloomy in here. And the top level it has books in it, but it also has an alcove where Filberto likes to sit at his desk and work away at his alchemy and things like that. He doesn't normally keep any. Well, I'll ask him. Filberto, do you normally keep any live subjects here that aren't animals?
I wouldn't, no, because
Okay.
the horrible bastards would have been paying me at the time. I wouldn't have a cell at this point.
Yes. So
you want
you.
some sort of cell or something before I could have that.
So you're not doing
I might have
that
the
right
odd dead. I might have the odd cadaver,
Mhm.
but nothing alive. Probably from the recent horrible bastards.
Right. Yeah. So that's cool. So you have a few meat hooks hanging on
Yeah.
chains from the ceiling with the next cadaver ready to go, and you've got
Yeah.
one displayed on the table in front of you that you've preserved and had.
Mhm.
Yeah, you're ready to pump full of all sorts of horrid poisons and alchemical remedies and mixtures and things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Science.
So science for science. You do have a letter that has been given to you because you've been with the horrible bastards for a few weeks now. Even before the first session, you were kind of around there. So you do have a letter that has come to you that's been delivered by one of the horrible bastards.
Mm.
Now, would you like me to give this letter directly to you, or do you want me to put it in the chat? What would you like me to do with it?
You can put it in the chat.
Okay, I'll put it in the chat. So the man who leads the horrible bastards is a man by the name of Harlow Gash. All right, Harlow Gash.
Okay.
Here is the. I can read it if you like, if you've put it in there, so everyone, so the chat can hear it too. So, I'll do it in his voice. Phil. First of all, thank you for teaching some of my lads their letters. They need to practice, and I won't have anyone suggesting the bastards are idiots. Anyway, someone from the Upper Anvane district came to us with a job. I thought you would be right up your alley. Someone who can make my life difficult and make me work for my money. Right. Thing is, this isn't really a job my lads could handle. I mean, smashing a few windows or scaring away the rougher parts of New Corinth is our thing, you know? High-class killing? Not really. Job is attached to this letter with the courier. Keep the pay for the job, 10,000 shillings, as a thank you for making sure the bastards aren't upsetting any nobles on the hill. This job needs to be done quick and quiet if you try it. Target is holding a little soiree at his castle at Warkworth. Cut his throat and get paid. All the cuddles. Hollow Gash. Now, Hollow Gash is actually from, you know him as being from the Duskfall Empire, which is a series of demon-infested islands. And their really guttural language, many respects, translates to all the cuddles, basically, in normal society. So you can read that into that what you will, but generally.
I mean, I'll just snicker it. I'll just snicker at all the cuddles. But yeah, that's. I might pop my head down and say, you want to get paid? You want to get some money? Yeah, I'll have a look at the
I
job.
was snacking. Sangren would be like, probably, if he's, had the last week to be tidying up this place a bit, he'd probably be, practicing and exercising down there. So you kind of hear like a bit of a grunt as he's like toss off some weights, and he's like, "What's the job?"
Hit job. We got to get rid of some posh ponts for some reason. Some of the local gangers don't exactly know, but some of the local gangers are getting in with the high class of society somehow. Damn bastards! Don't know what the bastards want to do with the nobles, but evidently
Well, the nobles aren't any better than the standard criminals. They just have more money behind them.
Yeah, and a faint air of legitimacy, I guess.
suppose.
Ooh, interesting.
And what do we exactly get out of the job?
10,000 shillings.
Seems a
bad.
bit low. Maybe we should go first negotiate if we can get some more before we take it on.
How about, I've got a better idea. How about we do both? We extract money from our friendly local hostage, and we double dip.
So you're just for clarification, you're saying get paid for killing him, and then ransom him back.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Or tell him to, or get him to bribe us more money than they were.
So so the only allies you've been able to recruit in the underworld right now are the.
Yeah.
I'm not, this isn't a criticism, by the way. This is perfectly fine. You're playing a bastard. Are the horrible bastards, which are a porter crew. So these are the guys who take stuff off the docks, you know. But they also do the old 5-finger discount with a few of the stuff, so that they can rob stuff. They're generally big, burly sailors who handle the muscle and handle the being bouncers for most of the local bars, things like that. So they're the low down, but they're good to know. But what you're suggesting is taking their money that they're giving you for this job, taking Andres Galloway, and who is the target, and then ransoming Andres back to get more money.
Yep.
What would be the end game there?
Well,
More money.
my thinking was, we would ransom ransom Andres for his life first, then kill him, then get the money.
Okay.
I mean,
That seems a bit
Banger just
convoluted
gonna put
if
up a hand and just say, wouldn't it be easier if we just killed him and robbed him?
Yes.
That also
That's-
works.
Well, let's just rob. He's a noble. We don't need him to ransom stuff. We can just take all the stuff to begin with.
That's true, but he probably has guards.
Tanger's gonna kind of just wave around. It's like, I don't think we're quite, we don't have quite the resources to start kidnapping and ransoming nobles without, potentially running afoul of someone who's better prepared than us.
Mm.
I can see that. So, I can read from the if you're sharing this anyway.
Yeah.
So the attached document is actually one that was given to the horrible bastards, and the horrible bastards have attached it to the letter that they sent to you, essentially. So here we go. So here's everything that the target knows. That the client knows. You don't know who the client is. The horrible bastards have not told you who that is. They literally have just told you, hey, we've got a client who wants this guy dead. It's not really our thing that we do or that we can do. Do you fancy doing it? And so we don't upset the client. You can keep all the money, basically. All right? So, known as the last scion of House Galloway, Andres has developed a reputation for being an unscrupulous and savage moneylender. All right, his main mode of gaining wealth is to buy into struggling businesses and tank them by calling in his debt so that he can repossess the business. The worst type of parasite. I need you to find me someone who can rid the city of this irritant, preferably with as little noise as possible. He is holding a soiree at Warkworth Castle tomorrow evening, which should provide a good cover for you. The courtyard is open to all comers, but you need to get an invite to get into the castle, into the grounds of the castle itself, where Andres is looking over prospective brides. There are dark rumours about Andres and how he has how he has the backing to take on the lower nobility of it in Anvain. Warkworth Castle is not his, but one of his repossessions. He wants to turn this district into his unofficial fiefdom using brutes who rule the streets. Well, he doesn't own the horrible bastards, which is why I'm counting on you, Gash. Find someone to cut this weed from the garden and 10,000 shillings will be yours.
Interestingly enough, who stands to gain from this? There's a third. Well, it's a case of I might not know that.
It is a case you might not know that, but do a wits roll just so I can gauge how much your character kind of knows in general, just keeping his nose to the ground, his ears to the ground. So, You know, it's probably someone who has vested interest in trade. It's probably someone who Andres Galloway stands to ruin if he gets more power. So probably just a political opponent, probably another noble. This is generally what they do, you know.
They scheme.
Yeah.
So if we look at the map here, not finished yet. I've not finished drawing it. So the blue square on the left-hand side, the small blue square, is the library where you are right now, where you're currently sitting. The circle that you see in that little area is the theatre where you were last time, which is basically one wall of it's completely collapsed. It's being rebuilt though, slowly but surely. And all of the buildings around you are basically warehouses, you know, shops, trade houses, things like that. No guild halls. This is basically a rundown area of the city. This used to be the main port. Where you guys are now, it used to be the main port of the Anvain district, and the Anvain district sits on the northern edge of New Corinth. But when the new port was built onto the reclaimed land, which you see just below, so you see the thing sticking out, the like a T shape, that was built on reclaimed land, and so all of the port business went there, and this place was left as basically a dilapidated ruin. With half-finished buildings, but so the grandeur of the theatre is still there, you know, and all these different buildings are still there. It's just they're not used, which has basically led a lot of you guys, people like you, to move in. The purple shapes that you see there are the palaces. So these are the local ducal palaces of the ruler of the Anvain port district. Normally they are a representative of the Shrouded Council. So these are registry offices. These are, you know, normal nice buildings. The scepter shape you see next to it is a church, right? The Church of the Man Jesus. So that is on a slope. So it's sort of like from where you are. If you went onto the top floor of your building and peeked out of the roof to the right hand side, you can see a mist shrouded church backing away up the hill. It's very, very large. Think Westminster Abbey sized. It's pretty big.
Fair enough.
The red building you see there is the Redcoats head office part of the district. So that's where they are, in general. The circle in that area is the main bazaar. So that's where a lot of the trade. So a lot of the trade is going on there, right in front of the palace, right there. To the right hand side, the yellow you can see. The yellow square you can see is the Walkworth Castle, which is your target for this evening or tomorrow evening. So you're going to have to cross a lot of the city. Not that you can't do that. I've not finished drawing everything, so if you point anything out, I can explain what's there. I do have it written down. And last thing, the very top of the very oval shape at the top is a stadium. Houses around 20 to 25,000 people. It's a handball stadium where the Anvain Blues tend to play. So that's where they play their sport. So a lot of people go there to watch their team play. The Anvain team, the local team.
Mm-hmm.
Just so you got a good overview of what's going on.
What's behind the castle? Like further out, like way further.
So further out, I've not drawn that because this is the Anvain Port district. Everything further back is basically the city itself. So you're going into the, you know, everything here is built up.
It's not at the outskirts of the city, but rather the castle is in the middle of the city.
Yes. So what you're seeing here, the entire thing, so all of the land here is basically covered by buildings. You know, I've not had time to draw them all. I just drew the ones that were pertinent to where you are now. And everywhere that you see where there's a border, that's the Anvain Port district. So this is the district where you guys call home on the northern edges of New Corinth. And New Corinth is basically further up on this picture, all around you. But the city centre, for instance, is how you're looking at it, it's to the northeast, where on the main map it's south. You know what I mean? It's like just turned around.
So I would propose, if we have 2 days for the hit, that today we send my orphans to do reconnaissance of the area, like who leaves, who doesn't maybe see where our target goes. And doesn't, and then the day after we would actually do the hit.
Yeah. Interesting idea. Or maybe we sneak in, you know.
I think we could probably Fine.
We can
you
still
know.
sneak in tomorrow.
I think that our best chance of sneaking in is when the guards are occupied with extra people.
Yeah.
At the very least, we can get in there and, scout it out, and if it looks like we should wait to do the actual hit, we don't have to do it right then, but...
Yes, but then suddenly the guards know that the same people, they might recognize us the next time we come. If we send in the orphans, then they won't recognize us. Also, there
But
is 24 of them. There's 3 of us.
But it's it's a party. They're, as long as we dress the part, and I'm just gonna kind of look at Dennis while I'm saying that. We
We're a
can
giant,
stand out.
a blind man, and you don't look like the high society type either.
I'm a man of science. That's higher society than you, pleb.
Ingern
Yes,
is literally
sir.
just
You're
gonna roll
talking
his
like a
eyes.
nobleman.
I dallied with a nobleman. I know how to mooch around the higher society. I've done that more than once, How you get funded in this day and age.
Oh,
Yes,
Ian, I'm
yeah. I
just
see the
gonna-
letter was from higher society giving you funding.
Yes. It
Just,
was.
real quick, add a character, Dean.
Mhm.
So, like, since he's had Sangren has had the military upbringing. He knows how to be, maybe not like the flowy, like charismatic nobles, but he definitely can do the whole dark and broody nobleman.
Yeah.
The upright bearing.
Yeah.
So I think he's gonna while they're kind of having their little tiff, I think he's gonna get himself dressed up and just kind of stand there and look, give them
Do
the very much
you have
down-the-nose look.
do you have doublets and things like that? Is that something that you would have?
I mean, when we were talking about his clothing stuff for his day-to-day stuff, it was all gonna be it was gonna be stuff that was very proper. He wanted to dress tidily because he doesn't like dressing not tidily. So I imagine he's got a few different versions of stuff like that to dress. So it's not gonna be a proper doublet, but
So it could be an
but we can
ensemble,
go
yeah.
get those.
So you're guessing remember to stay away from black, of course. But do you remember?
Yeah.
So you've got what an overcoat and a shirt and trousers and shoes. I'm guessing.
And of course a vest.
Okay. Would you have a cane or something?
He wouldn't have a cane yet, but he would probably get one for this.
For that, you'd have to go to a local.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely going to have to do a shopping trip. There's going to be a getting ready for the party montage. But for now, he's just trying to impress upon them that this is something they could do if they shut their mouths for 5 minutes.
So once you guys simmer down and you're just sullenly looking at each other, you just look over and you see this rather large burly guy with scars all over his arms, but he's in a nice shirt, trousers, boots, and he puts a hat on with a flourish, and then bows to himself in the mirror, and then just looks at you guys.
Are you done?
I guess so. Seems like you're ready.
Well, I don't have fancy stuff like that.
That's what the clothiers are for.
And how much? Will that at least cost less than we get out of the job?
Oh yeah, definitely. If you go into getting, yeah. How much money do you guys have
part
right
of
now?
Because of one of the things that if your uniform gets torn in the military, you have to be able to patch it up yourself, right? I imagine it's not too dissimilar for the Blackcoats.
No.
So
Well, the Blackcoats is an all you're on your own. We gave you the skills. Now it's up to you to go and essentially.
Yeah, but I mean, because he was raised kind of in their training grounds.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so he's gonna, I think it's.
You would know how to
I guess
patch a
it's time for
few
little
cuts.
shopping.
Yeah, you would know how to patch a few broken pockets and things like that. You can definitely
Yeah.
do that.
So that's why he's gonna like just like I'm not gonna pretend he could actually like make a code. But if they get one that's a bit worn,
Do a
Tight it up.
witch roll with a +3 for me.
all right.
All right.
Ooh, look at that.
So you know that there is a shop nearby called Nellie's. Let me just check on my. I've got like a graph here actually.
Do you?
Look.
Dean knew I was gonna have to do a shopping montage at some
Oh,
point.
God.
I'm ready for it.
Most complex thing in D&D.
Nellie
Or
seamstresses.
RPG.
There you go. Nellie seamstresses. I didn't know what the word was. Nellie seamstresses. So, Nellie seamstresses. And they do reasonable prices. They would be just a street or two down from where you are, and they're also quite what would I say? Put discreet. So some of the rank and file of the underworld head there sometimes to get to dress up nicely for different things they need to dress up nicely for.
So, I guess I'm going to take these two to get them, dressed well enough for high society.
Okay. Are you just gonna lead them out? Or are you gonna ask them to go with you? Because they're at the moment like the.
I'm just gonna be like, come along.
Is there a way I could disguise my eyes in this setting?
Yeah, you can have black glasses on. Yeah, you can do that to save you. You say, oh, I'm saving my blue eyes from the sun. I'm afraid, that sort of a thing. You can have a hat.
I mean, we'll find you an appropriate outfit.
Would I reasonably have like a gown or something, like an old gown or something from my time as a researcher?
Oh, why wouldn't you? Yeah, if you're a
Yeah.
fellow, yeah, you'd have a
I'd have my fellowship gown or whatever.
yeah.
Maybe a beret as well. A really old, dusty one that has seen. Probably could require a lot of dusting and
So as
cleaning
you guys are leaving, you see like Philberta get out this gown and he beats the moths out of it. Are you putting it on right now, or are you gonna hang it up?
I'll hang it up.
Okay, you hang it up. Cool, awesome. So the main unit there is an Anvain University, but it's like three buildings. But a lecturer may go to one of these things, especially if he's a minor noble. So could be something you could do.
Yeah, definitely.
Is someone looking for funding for a project?
Well, I'm going to dress more like a Valentian. My
Ah,
original fellowship as a Valentian.
okay.
So-
So you're gonna go full on like I'm visiting from the University of Valencia. Okay, cool. Yeah, cool. Awesome. So, I guess are you guys going with Sangern out into the streets then? Still.
Yeah, I'll join anyway. I'll pick up a new
Yeah.
shirt or something.
Alrighty.
Newer, more well-fitting clothes.
So, it's about 2:10 in the afternoon at the moment. It's still autumn, so it's a bit rainy. There's always thunder in the distance because this the kind of world that we live in. The storms on the Black Glass Sea are always raging far out, and you are in the Anvain Port District, which is right on like the northern tip, edging into the Black Glass Sea. So if you look to your left from when you walk out of the library, you can see the edge of the city of the port district ebbing down into the waters of the Black Glass Sea, which are completely dark. You can see shapes moving underneath, almost like lights twinkling in the darkness. And then out to sea, you can see the vast whaling fleets that are doing battle with several leviathans that are underneath the water there, for their blubber and their oil. So, and further way, you can actually see the skies go in inky dark, and over there somewhere is a Duskfall Empire where all the islands are that are inbred with demons and things. There are lots of people on the streets at the moment because we are about 55 minutes away from kick-off as the Anvain Blues take on a team that you do not know. You're seeing lots of people walking around with blue and white scarves on and hats and things like that, and they're all making their way up to the stadium to see their team play. Or that there are bookies on the streets taking bets on who's going to score what goal and when. All right, how many knockouts they're going to be in the game, how many stoppages they'll need, and if anyone will die, because people every now and again do die in these games.
The game sounded really innocent for all of like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And things got very aggressive very quickly.
Think of Florentine Calcio. What they play in Florence, where it's like there's a ball and they just beat the living shit out of each other. That's basically what it is.
Sounds nice.
Yeah.
Question: how many things could they realistically swallow? Like a knife, 2 knives?
How many? Say that again. You cut out for a minute.
How many things could my character swallow? Like realistic to like puke out later? Because I assume we can't take weapons in the normal way into the party.
You want to swallow a knife? That you said.
I mean, you put a sheath on the end, so it doesn't.
Oh, that would be
like a stiletto with a narrow handle.
That would have to be an insanely good roll. If you got it wrong, you would cut your own throat and probably bleed out. So you
put a switch knife when you close.
There are. I never normally do this as a GM, but there are better ways of concealing a weapon than putting it in your person. In either orifice, top or bottom. There are better ways. You could ask me when you get to the shop. Put it that way.
Okay.
Ask me when you get to the shop.
Yeah, it'd be like we'd have like concealed spots sewn in, or like the belt buckle would have a concealed blade, which is actually like a thing that people sell.
Yeah.
So
in the U.S. anyways.
So it's actually.
People sell. I feel like they search for it.
It's actually kind of mild as days go. It's not that cold. There's a spray of rain, but hey, you're on the Blackcoats Sea. There's always a bit of rain. And as you guys make your way towards Nellie's, she is outside. She has a dark-coloured skin. She has bright red eyes. So she's obviously from the Duskfall Empire somewhere. And she is generally fixing a hem on a robe. She's just outside of her shop, which is coloured, but not brightly. It's dark and red paint all over it, with Nellie's on paint on top of it. And you can see there are a few guys hanging around, like buying a few ties and bow ties and things like that. There's one guy who loves a cane, and he's like, "Oh yeah, this is great." And she takes it off of him really quickly and says, "No." And he when he goes to protest, she presses a button and a sword just pops out at the end of it, and he goes, "Oh okay," and then just like backs off and leaves it. And so she reattaches the sword and puts it away. As you guys walk up, she says, the vagrants from the library next door. How are you? Going somewhere, are we?
We have a party to attend.
Who would invite you? She like looks you guys up and down like.
At least Sangren's dressed up.
Yeah, but like, if she assumes you're all going together, which is.
Yeah. We've got friends in high places.
She says, friends in high places, I see. Are those friends in high places paying me to dress you?
We're paying.
Yeah, our tall, well-dressed friend was gonna pay.
Yeah.
Well, that's two different things I've heard from two different people, so I will go to the one who is dressed like an actual gentleman. Will you be paying for the goods I'm providing, or do I wait for an invoice from one of your employers? Actually, never mind. Yeah.
Sorry, add a character. I would know, have a general idea of what the price of this is going to cost.
It's going to cost you you had like a couple of hundred, or like 100 or so shillings, right? It's going to cost you about 80 to 90 to get fully dressed.
Yeah, I think we'll probably just pay up front and then deal with and then I'll get them a reimbursed for that out of the amount we make. So yeah, I think we'll be paying up front. Don't you worry.
Okay, so she nods and says, "Right, step inside. Please wipe your feet before you go in." She looks at Dennis and Filberto especially before they.
Yeah, Dennis is annoyed with her. He doesn't wipe his feet.
Okay, she notices.
If he doesn't wave his feet, I would probably honestly put a hand, like on his shoulder, and then like point at the rug, like this is like kind of like give him a pointed look. It's like we don't want to upset her before we've even gotten you dressed.
Live with it.
Yeah, so you wipe your feet in the end.
No.
Okay, yeah, so you okay.
Telling him to live with it.
Okay. So you just like brush his hand off and walk in. Okay.
Sangren is having a moment of this is going to be more difficult than I thought.
So, Nellie walks in and she puts her hands together and says, "So who's getting dressed first? I would assume you are shaving, yes?"
What, the Sangun? Is that?
Well, Sangren would actually be clean shaven. He tends to keep it that way.
So that's directed at the two guys who actually look like they're on the street.
I guess that
Dennis
would be
is
shaven.
17. He doesn't grow a beard yet, probably.
Okay, so you got like little
At
patches.
17.
Though I think I would also be clean shaven as well.
Okay.
I wouldn't have that sort of man. Well, actually, yeah, I would be clean shaven.
Yeah, I mean, you can just get a shave just for the sake of getting a therapeutic shave, which is what she's offered
I'll get
you.
a therapeutic shave.
Okay. So she claps her hands twice, and a woman called Sabrina comes out and directs you to sit down while she shaves you in a bowl.
Fair enough.
So yeah, she does that. There's nothing really going on, So, who is you guys tell me what you would like to wear, and I will deduct the money from your accounts, from your wages.
Yeah. Dennis doesn't want to be here. He meant it when he expected Sangren to pay because he was kind of dragged into this whole situation.
Oh, okay. So you're just like...
I mean, he'll put up the money. He is going to take it out of, the cut from,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're paying 80 to get 10,000 essentially. So
Yeah.
I guess it's working out. So Sangan, please, that will be all of your money gone for now. When you're paying for these two full wardrobes, but you get to decide what you and Dennis are going to wear. So there you go.
I mean, Dennis was, if I recall from the description, he's kind of slender, right?
He is kind of slender, yeah.
So,
he's 17 and kind of a street urchin, or leader of street urchins.
Now, it's as tempting as it is to just say this, I would actually clear it with Dennis first. But would Dennis be opposed to, especially since he can use that clothing to conceal more weaponry, to be dressed as a woman, since the duke or the person we're trying to kill has a tendency to look towards women?
He's a bit puzzled about it
dressing up as a woman.
because then he can't hit on noble ladies.
Just as an aside, lesbians aren't seen as homosexual in the setting. They're seen as an exotic thing to be aspiring to as a noble person. So, one thing that I wrote in is that men are generally allowed to cheat on their wives with other men, and women are generally allowed to cheat on their husbands with other women, essentially, in this setting.
So it's actually the opposite.
Yeah.
So it would actually make it easier for you to hit on noble women if you were dressed as a woman.
If my character knows that, then let's go for it.
So he literally it's like they've got Velcro pants on. He's like grabs them, just hoist them off. What kind of dress is Dennis going to be wearing? You can feel free to look online if you want to look online and give us a preview. Or,
kind of like,
although your search history will probably be freaking out your lovely other half, but like that's fine.
Oh, she's seen me Google weirder shit.
I don't want to know.
More Victorian area, right?
Yeah, so something like that, yeah. So it can be like a large, big old ass,
Probably
and
want something he can.
This seems like
more
something that
move
would call on the entire arsenal.
that's brilliant. Okay.
By the way,
There's
aren't
something
the dresses way more expensive than suits? That's at least the
No. It's generally, I made the deal to do all of the money to get you guys wearing shit. So it won't look as nice as this. It's a bit tatty, you know. But at night, no one's going to really be able to tell unless they're giving you a really inquisitive look. But there seems to be like quite a lot of. You can see like Nellie's going around it saying, yes, switchblade in here, matchlock in there.
I was picturing something more along the lines of. Hold on 1 second. Let me find out where that just saved to. Here. Except with a full dress going around.
Holy shit! Okay.
I wouldn't kind of feel that
Not
I don't
black.
have boobs.
Not black, of course. Yeah.
Not black. Yeah.
I mean, if she walked in with that, people would just be, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What did you
Not
say?
black.
What did you say, Dennis?
Wouldn't that pretty clearly reveal that he doesn't have boobs?
Well, not all women
I
have
mean,
large
you could
boobs.
pat it.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're petite women.
Mm-hmm.
All boobs matter, Dennis. All boobs matter.
More than a handful's a waste, as they say.
It's all right. I got pretty big hands.
Yeah. So, Dennis, I'm gonna say like, you can have a choice if you like, but like the other guy is paying for this, so I'm guessing like, he's and Nelly is going around saying yes, okay, I can put in, depending on what you want. This one will be better for blades. The other one will be better. The pink one will be better for firearms.
Blades then.
Blades, okay. So this is a grey, an all grey dress with knives stitched into into the body, so you can take them out. They're quite close to your body. They're not going to be able to, unless they touch you. They're not going to be able to search this, and they're not going to touch a lady. So yeah, that's all fine. Nelly takes your chin and is like, yes, quite severe. We're gonna have to do something about that scar, because obviously you've got like a mark on your face from like the last fight. We have to do something about that mark. Sabrina, come here. Bring
Is
my
Nelly getting
powders.
into this?
Yeah, she's definitely getting into it. She's like, bring my powders, please, Nelly. Bring her up, please, Sabrina. And take a seat, dear. Take a seat. And she didn't like. She says take a seat, but she puts you in the seat, sort of a thing. Just shoves you back into the seat. And
There's no choice in this.
no, and Dennis, as your arse hits the seat, it goes backwards as she uses the hydraulic pump underneath. It's like shift you up and then backwards, and then they immediately descend on your face and start like applying all sorts of like powder and oils and charcoal mascara and all this stuff going on. And Nelly turns to you, Sangun, and says, "This may take a few hours. Feel free to hang around or dress yourselves and settle up with me, and you can leave. I will send her back to you within a few hours."
Yeah. So Sangren will get himself dressed up. It's gonna be let me kind of like nothing too fancy. Basically, the look Dennis is Sangren is gonna go for is to be sort of can't think of the word, the escort for Lady Dennis.
Okay, right. So you're gonna match her ensemble with your own, basically.
But subdued, because he's supposed to just be keeping an eye on her, making sure she's safe.
Okay. So yours gonna go in like a grey suit, essentially, or like a.
Yeah, like kind of a footman, but but more like upper class than that,
Right,
you know,
you're
the kind of person
attending
who
to her.
would be expected to be with her at those parties.
Cool, that's fine. I can set you up with that, with some boots as well. That's fine.
I'm gonna get a new shirt and waistcoat with maybe
Yep.
a bow tie to go, because I'll have the gown, and the gown and cap, but I still want
Brilliant.
probably newer, fancy clothes.
So,
Nothing too fancy.
Sangern, deduct all of your shillings. Dennis, yours stay the same. Filberto, deduct 70 from your shillings. Somebody.
Can I also get a hip flask? A couple of hip flask and a pack of
You
cigarettes.
don't
and
already
big-
have
Yeah,
it.
I'm assuming you have
Okay,
those
fair.
already. Those
like
like,
metal one.
yeah,
rather than
you can have that already. They're not
Okay.
the dime a dozen. Somebody appears like in the awnings of the shop. There are like there's no door, but there's like fabrics, and a young like a 12-year-old young boy pokes his head in. It says, "Hello, I'm looking for Mr. Dennis."
I'm gonna look at Dennis.
Dennis is otherwise occupied at the moment. Or can Dennis hear this, or is he?
Yeah, you can hear.
whisked
Yeah.
Away?
No,
He's
he.
pretending to not be here. He's not letting the kids see him this way.
Okay.
Not here.
So yeah, Sangern will be like, "Is this one of the kids from the other day?"
Are you asking me that?
Yes.
No. This is another urchin.
Okay. I'm just gonna kind of turn towards the kid and say, Dennis is away for a minute, but we can pass on a message.
I was actually told to give a message to Mr. Dennis for him to pass on to somebody else. Mr. Filberto.
Hey up.
Oh, fantastic. He might
Waiting.
actually tip me if I give it straight to you. And he gives you the envelope. Says thank you. Please tell Mr. Dennis that I was very helpful and that he should definitely tip me. And he backs away and ducks out of the shop.
I give a shilling, but I'm literally broke.
I'll give him. I'll give him a shilling.
He's gonna
on
toss
the
him
way
a
out.
shilling. Like,
Yeah.
oh my god, a whole shilling! And he's like, he just runs out screaming, like really happy, as he runs out into the autumn. So, are you gonna crack open the letter now? Or are you gonna leave?
I'll have
Okay.
Yeah, I will read it.
Yeah, it's a letter from Hollow Gash,
Mhm.
and he says, Phil, we need to talk. That's it.
Cool. And does he
You
give a
send me more
location?
cuddles?
He knows where you know where he is. Like he's in the docks
Okay,
in one of the bars there.
fair enough. I will probably go
Mm-hmm.
wander.
Are
I
you
might
gonna go on your
message
own?
Sangern and say I've got to meet a friend. You want to come?
I'm gonna
Might
turn towards Dennis and be like, "Guess I've got time," and and head off. By the way, Dean.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wearing like gloves for this outfit. Could they have like, like a reinforced knuckle?
Sure, why not?
Okay, just
Why
so
not?
so I can, if I need to beat somebody.
To your
I'm not
unarmed
just hitting
strikes, add 3 damage and 2 AP. 2 armor negation.
Fair enough. I was also going to take my clothes to a washerwoman to get them washed.
That would be
road or
done here as well. That's all
Yeah, fair
factored
enough,
into the
that's fair
price. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
So,
Okay.
you guys want to head
So
out
3
into?
damage and 2 armor negation. you said?
Yes, just to unarmed strikes.
Okay. Shall we go down to the docks?
While she does my makeup, I asked if I could get that sword cane I saw earlier, and for that one I would pay actually myself because once the other two leave.
Okay. So she says, yeah, I could do that for you. And she like clicks her fingers, and someone comes around, and someone comes around and like offers you the cane. Says, please don't press the button in the middle. It's And
She's
deduct.
definitely gonna have to fluff it up so it fits your ensemble, but
Yeah, deduct 45 shillings from your overall total.
Oh, boy, that's pretty expensive cane.
it's got a sword in it.
I'm gonna pretend this is my blind cane, and I'm gonna just pretend to be full on blind during the party.
Alrighty.
Since I asked to have a cigar case, could I have a switchblade
Yes.
so I could stick it in there?
Yeah, no problem.
All you guys, all your little snappy bits. When I'm just gonna
So I
walk
have
up
a
and
sword
punch somebody in
and,
the
like-
face.
Okay, so I have a sword and like multiple knives, but I don't actually know the damage for any of them.
So, you guys head out to the. So you leave Dennis to get his makeup done. and you guys are heading down towards. There's a place called the Seventh Ditch, and it's right on the edge of the water in the port district. So you're looking at, if you look back at the Anvain map, if you can see where your blue square is, the rectangle just below that, to the far right of that rectangle is where this is. So you guys head down there, and general, you see a lot of sailors there who are shirtless, big burly men. They have tattoos, really bad tattoos of anchors and all sorts of other things. Most of them are smoking chagga pipes, and generally looking out for the real estate of the horrible bastards who own this part of the city. As you guys head to the main bar, it's actually got like its own little wharf. It's like a bar with its own little wharf where people are standing around drinking and closing deals and about protection and rackets and things like that. And as you go in, you see Harlow is sitting there, very large man, but he is in a waistcoat and trousers, and he has a monocle. But he also has it's almost like a mohawk, but it's a short mohawk. He is covered in tattoos, sailing tattoos, and he's nodding to one of his friends. He looks up from his pipe and he goes, Phil,
Yeah.
take a seat.
All right, boss.
And he says, he goes, he looks at Sanga and goes, who's this big lump?
Bodyguard. You know, sometimes you need him in this city.
He's like, oh, I know that, mate. I know that. Right. What I brought you here for is give you a little bit of a pep talk, number one, because my little, well, not my little birds, my rather big birds, and he turns around to some of the sailors. Told me that you left and you went to a seamstress's just before, so I assume you're getting ready for a party, which is very good, very good. Number one, I have something that you might like, just to help.
Great tell.
He goes underneath the table. He takes out a gun. It's a revolver, but it looks like it's got like a long tin cylinder on the end of it. And he slides it across the table with like a metallic across the table to you. And he goes, this thing, rather expensive, silenced, right?
Ooh.
Can't be heard by people maybe 20 metres away. Might come in handy.
Ooh. Ooh.
My gift to you for taking on this contract for us, as my client really is not someone that I want to be pissing off right now.
Dare I ask, who's your client?
No, they'd probably kill me if I told you, mate. Sorry.
Interesting. This Andres guy. You had any dealings with him?
No, not really. I know there was a family called Walkworth that was on that part of the city. They owned a really nice castle up there, really nice. Well, they hit bad times when some of their fleet got sank at sea by the Duskfallers. And when they came back, they took in a loan with the wrong people, and soon enough, the castle burned down, and they had to sell it at a really lower price back to the creditors. And I think one of them was Andres, so, you know, he's a smart man, not somebody you want to be underestimating.
So your note implies that somebody's been buying out the local gangs?
Yeah, I think it's him, to be honest with you. Most of the gangs around there are not very nice, to say the least. And if he's got a few of them on his payroll, I can see him taking over a few districts, maybe making all of Anvain his, and we'll all be paying him taxes out of our takings and things like that. Do you know what I mean?
Fair enough. So how come he hasn't already made you an offer?
Well, the horrible bastards are below his notice. No offence, lads. And he looks around to the blokes around him. You know, we're dock people. If he wants something lifting from one of the shipments, he asks us. Or he would ask us. Apart from that, below his notice, mate.
You're not such a small fry outfit. You know,
Well,
not yet.
you
Are
keep
you
killing
flirting?
people for me, and you never know. Did you say that out loud?
No.
Okay.
Well, you know. But how's life as a horrible bastard?
He just nods and goes, "I can't complain, can't complain. More things coming off the docks with each and every passing day. You know, if you need any sort of tobacco or anything like that, you let me know, alright? We'll get a crate sent over to the library for you."
Ah, nice. You get anything useful out of the old man that I introduced to you?
He says, he turns around to one of his friends, and his friend is like, he's got this like hook that he's polishing, and he has like monocles on, and he
Yeah.
inclines his head to you, Filberto, very respectfully, as another practitioner of the art, and he blows, and he goes, yeah, I would say this is Harlow. He says, yeah, I'd say so. We got a good tip on a good whaling vessel that's coming back, loaded with supplies. Some of those supplies will find their way onto other docks for some of our clients. My man Volpe, and he points at him,
Yeah.
always gets the truth, mate. At least he does now. He's had a few conversations with yours truly.
Oh yeah. I'm sure, you know, as much as the meat hook is a obviously very classic and medieval way of doing things, the better ones are the ones where you don't harm anyone. That's how you really mess someone up.
And Volpe like spits on the hook and then like shines it a little bit and looks at you and goes, "It has always worked for me."
I'm sure it has. My friend. But the science lays out the truth.
He just nods and goes back to his polishing, and then Harlow says, "Well, if that's all, mate, I've got a whore in 10 minutes."
Ah, classy.
Nah, he just shrugs.
She a good lass, you know?
I don't know. She's coming from the seamstresses, so we'll see. Apparently,
okay, fair enough.
apparently she's a new girl. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Enjoy.
Yeah, no worries.
I'm
No
gonna
worries.
I'm gonna look at Sigan.
Sigarden's gonna just kind of give you a quiz, like a look, like I don't want to know.
So let me just go back to Dennis. So Nelly is doing your makeup, and she says, "Your cheekbones are to die for." Can I just say that? They're very nice.
Is it weird? Is it weird if I say that?
Yeah. And then she says, "Listen, Dennis, how would you like to make some extra money?" Are you muted, mate? I know you're not.
No, I'm just thinking what you'd say to that.
I mean, so in this setting, like, you know, just in general, like homosexuality and stuff isn't really like frowned upon or anything.
No.
It's just kind of,
No.
Normal.
Yeah.
He would probably just ignore what she says and just stare off. You know, he's having this makeup put on, just imagine he just lies there
Yeah.
and thinks himself to a song in his head or something.
So she says, "I have a discerning client with quite eclectic tastes. If you would be happy to spend a few hours with this client, I would be able to send around, let's say, a finder's fee of 2,000 shillings directly to you. And of
Are
course,
you listening now?
any service you need from me and the seamstresses here would also be free of charge from now on."
I'll do it if you pay 1,000 shillings up front.
She turns to Sabrina, who just shrugs, and she says, "If you'll put on a good show, I'll give you the 2,000 up front. But be mindful. Don't fuck with the seamstresses.
You should watch out to whom you make threats, woman.
And she's looking at the 17-year-old boy, basically. And she just shakes her head and says, I'll pay you now. Just quickly, once we're finished here, get your arse to the docks, right? Okay? And ask for Mr. Nash. Mr. Gash, sorry. Ask for Mr. Gash. That's all.
He's the guy who's sending me to the party.
You would recognise the name, yeah.
Yeah, so that I just say it to just maybe show her that I know the guy already.
And she nods and says, yeah.
Good. I'll go then.
All right. And she claps twice and says, right, she is ready. And they help you up and say, and she gives you several there's like about 50 banknotes that add up to, 2,000 shillings. And she says, put these in your body, steer. Don't let them go anywhere, all right? They can be a bit rough down there, you know what I'm saying?
Okay. So
you're like adjusting your dress, like, okay, right.
No. First, I'm gonna pretend I'm going to the guy. Then I'm gonna go to the whorehouse we were to last time.
Okay, cool. So you're gonna go to the library instead of the guy.
No. I'm going to the whorehouse. I'm gonna hire another whore to go to him.
Oh, really clever. Okay, cool, awesome. Okay, so you head over to Cerese's, and
yes.
you like, are you swanning into Cerese's, like, just yeah. Cerese looks up from the table. She's like writing a ledger, and she looks up at you and goes, "By Jove, we're not hiring at the moment, but you come back next Monday, and I will have some work for you. Don't you worry about that."
I actually have some work for one of your ladies. Interested in earning 500 shillings?
She turns around, and that's like 3 nights' wages, So she's like, and what would the job be, may I ask?
There's an eccentric man called Nash down in the
That,
docks.
stop there. This isn't some infantry fuckhole, okay? You can't just take my girls and give them to any, body who's going to tear out their hair and generally give them a broken hip. Just no. The answer's no.
Shouldn't you ask the girls themselves?
She sighs and says, 1 second. She calls like Gisela, and this rather buxom woman who it looks like to be more man than you are, like, walks over, and she says, please my darling, repeat your offer to Gisela, and she may be open to your suggestions.
You won't get your ass kicked.
There's a man called Nash down in the docks, and he's willing to pay 1,000 shillings for a few hours with you.
And she says, with me?
Yes.
She says, all right. What now?
Yeah. You had some time to prepare, but generally be there in an hour.
I want the money up front, though.
I can give you 800 shillings up front. 200 shillings.
500.
Yeah, no, I said to her that I'm gonna give her 1,000, so I'm gonna give her 800 up front,
Okay.
and then 200 once we get the job done.
She says, deal. She spits in her hand and offers it to you.
I shake her hand, like,
Yep.
vigorously.
Yep.
Give a thumbs up and give her the money and leave.
Okay, cool. So you're heading back to the library now. So Filberto and Sanguin, as you're leaving the port district, there's a lot of like wolf whistling, as the largest man in a dress you've ever seen comes waddling down towards the port district. and crosses into the ditch, the bar. To which Gash stands up and says, my dear, welcome, welcome," and that's the last you see of that as you walk off into the.
You know,
I'm gonna look at Sangan and say, I half expected someone else to turn up.
I definitely considered that possibility, but you know, each
So,
their own.
back at the library. In fact, I think we can take a quick break before we start the actual assassination or attempted assassination, if you want to do that. So I would say come back here for 20 past, and we will get on with that. We will fast forward the night to the next night, where you guys are ready to go.
Okay. Wait, if it's the next night, then can I still send out the orphans to do some scooping out in the morning?
Yes,
Like, who attends,
you can do that right
where
now.
the guy comes?
Yeah, and,
Okay,
and
yeah,
you'll have
well,
all the information.
I would like to do that now. I'm definitely sending forecast. Maybe he can find our target, see if he's thinking about something.
I
Alrighty.
think Sangern is definitely going to spend some time, giving, as much as also for himself, but a refresher on party etiquette for the upper class.
All right. Yeah, so you're going to spend the
Dennis-
evening just telling them about.
Dennis has never been to something like that. He has basically been raised like a dog by his master.
Yeah, and so he's basically going to drill it into your head because this isn't going to work if you are doing all the different ticks that you normally would be doing.
I'm just gonna stay silent and pretend to be the petite blind girl. Is that fine?
There's more to it than that, and so there's going to be he's going to give you just the crash course so that you don't do something particularly untoward, but if just general stuff, he's not going to make a big fuss. He's not going to make you have to speak, so he's going to try to encourage you to just respond with a nod, but not like a shaking your head up and down nod, just kind of the slight chin nod, stuff like that.
Okay.
Alrighty.
So you can be quiet and blind but still not get us thrown out.
Well, I will be back in a few minutes.
All right.
Alrighty, back at it. Whoops. Back at it. There we go.
Right.
Hello. So, let's get this on the way, shall we?
Now, why is Dennis going to be murdering all the seamstresses? That's interesting.
What did they do?
Yeah.
I just wanted him to feel pretty.
And they offered her some honest work.
Still purchased. Why though? So yes, the next morning, Dennis, you are awoken by one. They threatened Dennis. Two, apparently the guy they sent him into known for beating women up. Yeah, that's probably true. There's a knock on the shutter in the morning, Dennis.
Right in the morning, it's like 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Okay. If it wakes me up, then I go get it.
Okay. You can't actually move. You need to get Sanguine up. Would Sanguine already be up or would he be asleep?
He gets up early.
Okay, so Sanguine's around, so you can help him out with that.
Why couldn't I move?
They're just really, really, really heavy. You could probably do a strength check, but if you fail it, these doors will fall down on top of you, which is why you haven't been doing it in the meantime. And it would be a very difficult check. So, doors are moved aside, and there is an orphan standing there in the rain of the morning.
Yo.
He says, "Hello. I was told by Cricket to come down here and tell you what we found at the large house over the river."
Yeah.
Yeah, spit it out, kid.
So, well, there's a party going on tonight. There's quite a lot of guards around the outer area. Not redcoats though, but we have recognised a few off-duty redcoats who are probably being paid to keep guard of the place. There's lots of families who have taken hotel residence around the area, probably hoping to have their noble daughters marry the good Lord Andres. Sorry. So, him himself, he likes to stay inside the pleasure rooms of the castle. So, the billiard room, the steam room, places like that. He tends to have converted the only standing rooms in the castle into his own pleasure areas. There are multiple ways in to the castle. It's been burned down a year or two ago. So there are multiple ways in through the walls. There are multiple ways in all over the place, really. I've drawn a little... He takes out a sketch. A little drawing of the walls here. And I've put down in red where you can probably cross over quite easily.
He's a pretty useful little kid.
Good job. Don't go anywhere near that area for, I say 2 weeks.
He nods and goes, "Why would we want to go there anyway? Stinks of fish."
Huh. I would think a noble place like that would smell nice. Anyway, this was a good job. You guys are gonna have a bit of fun, and I hand the kid 5 shillings.
He just beams and just immediately tears up. And they're just like, "This just..."
You know you guys can make change for shillings, right?
Oh, in this setting, shilling is like a pound. It's just another word for pound. So it's a good bit of money.
$1 for you Yanks.
Yeah, a dollar
Maybe
for...
$2.
Oh,
Yeah, a cowboy dollar was a lot of money.
A dollar for those in the group who use Monopoly money. Well, that's strange fact.
Canadian.
Strange fact is going away from that. When I was in the States, like, I didn't actually look at dollars as real money, so I just spend them all the time. I'd be like, this is actually this is ridiculous. It's horrible. It was really bad because I just ended up spending most of my wages all the time. But like, so yes, so the kid is shooed away. He's shooed away. And he is now, and so you now have this information and a little map. It's not a very good one. You know, he's an illiterate kid who's just drawn circles and round about where there are places where you can actually dive in, you know, and get into this place that's being seen. But the time has come for, you know, Dennis is not in a good mood. He's had to sleep in his makeup, so he's not in the best of moods, I'm guessing. But,
Not at all.
We can skip forward throughout the
Never in a
day,
good mood?
where you guys do your preparations and you're ready to go. So, what weapons and what gear are you bringing to the party tonight?
Can I replace one of the knives in the dress with a stick of dynamite just in case?
Okay.
I mean, we might find a safe. You never know.
So I have a stick of dynamite, a few knives, and a sword.
Okay.
Could I sneak an axe in somewhere?
What size axe?
Well, the biggest one I can.
It'd probably like a small hatchet. You probably could, yes.
Okay. Then I just need actual stats for the things. So.
Okie dokie.
Can
In
I
that, ca-
put some
in that case,
put some
no.
poison-
Also, I need the stats for the silenced gun you just got.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Look at you guys with all your fancy stuff, and I've got fists.
Are you keeping this gun, or are you giving it to someone else?
I was gonna keep it.
Okie
He's the only
dokie.
one who can use it.
I
Um,
don't have to wear a
Keep
it's
a skullduggery, maybe
its special rule is this.
Let me see. I might actually want to hand that to someone else because I have really low skullduggery, so maybe I should hand that to someone else. And say,
Well, don't you either.
Me neither. Zero in it.
I have
Oh
one.
no. Oh, that you're doing. Well, you can't have 0, right? I thought we
Yeah,
were
yeah,
doing
one. I meant one.
Yeah, we all have 1.
Okay, so I'll
Nobody's
take it
giving
then.
them stuff.
I'll take it then. Since
Okay.
I'll also take a vial of.
It's funny because you can't actually technically hit anything with it because you need
Yeah.
two hits to get a hit. It's fine.
Well, I could,
You
try
get-
to be Sam Fisher or whatever, and shoot out lights and shit.
Yeah, that's true.
Good old Splinter
Eh.
Cell. But yeah, I'd like to get some I would like to get some poison that is it isn't lethal. I would
Mhm.
actually like to get something like if you've been playing Hitman a lot, it's the like rat poison sort of thing.
The emetic poison.
Yeah, emetic poison. The non-lethal poison that will just
Mhm.
make you sick.
For an
And I'll fill a
assassination?
hip flask with it.
For an assassination?
Yes,
Small
because you don't
axe.
want to make it seem too obvious that you're killing them.
Yeah, you should
You-
probably tell that to Dennis.
Yeah. You wait for them to you wait for them to fall ill or otherwise leave a crowded area, and that's when you kill them.
The plan was to actually just stab him in the middle of the room.
Okay, and how are you going to get out of that?
Oh,
Yeah.
the dynamite.
1 second. Feel free to plan.
Kind of having a moment of realizing that this is probably going to end poorly.
Yeah. I'd say some emetic poison and give them a good old, I guess, what the schoolboys would call a swirly.
Where did you go to school? That's what Sangren says.
Maybe just leave this up to you two, and because I don't think we have the same wavelength of thinking on how assassinations work.
I mean, death by swirly is definitely a viable way to kill someone.
Well, what if I seduce him and then just suck him dry?
That also works. Yeah. Just good
Phil
luck
Barrett
getting
need a
out of that one.
moment to realize what he just said, remembering the whole he's a vampire thing, or does Phil Berto get that right away?
The seducing and stabbing him and drinking his blood.
Yeah.
I guess I can appreciate that. I'd say it sounds kinky. Because you're dressed as a woman right now.
And whose idea was that?
Not mine.
Right.
Angren is like literally just like hands in his face in his hands, just like, oh my god, what have I done? What is gonna happen here? This is definitely gonna go poorly.
Yep. As always.
Well, I guess that's plan A.
Yeah.
Settled at least.
Plan B is that we poison him. And then I suggest death by swirly. That's also quite a fun kill if you ever do that in Hitman. I also find that particularly funny. So you poison somebody and then drown them in a toilet. It's rather classy, but
There are worse things you could do, I guess.
Yeah. Or if they got any fireworks, well, maybe you might want to see if they got any fireworks at this here party.
You've been playing too much Hitman.
Hmm?
You've been playing too much Hitman.
I mean, I thought Dean had been playing too much Hitman when he was talking about today's session, so. But there's nothing wrong with it. Yeah, Hitman's good. Good game. I haven't played 2 or 3, but I played the first one. Or the first reboot. And I was just thinking that this feels like one of the, I think it's the Paris level of the Hitman. Where you're in a big fancy fashion shoot or big party sort of thing.
Maybe it was all preparation.
Yeah. Just like the simulations.
Had to give my granddad his dinner, sorry. Right, all done. Right, so what have we decided on? Have we decided on a plan of action to approach this place, or are you guys just going to leave and wing it when you get there?
Plan A is I seduce him, then I suck him off, dry. And plan B is poison.
Okay.
That was just intentional.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just
Okay.
intentional.
Awesome. I had a funny feeling that's where this would go. So as the sun goes down on the new Corinth evening, you guys head out into the not quite driving rain, but it is autumn. I promise you, the rain will cease eventually, but at the moment in New Corinth it is going to be quite wet. As other things will be getting quite wet if Dennis has his way. But as you march on through the city, you can see that there are still celebrations from the night before. Obviously, the Unvain Blues beat the team who they were playing. You guys head on through, and all the bars are full, and everyone's partying. There's a few people passed out on the streets and vomiting into the alleys. There's a sound of a few whores plying their trades in back alleys too. As you head towards finally the river. Now, if you look on the map that I showed you of Unvain, of the Unvain Port District, the river on the right hand side generally separates the beating heart of the Unvain Port District with the noble housing. The noble housing is normally on the right hand side, so all of the municipal decisions are handled on the hill, just called the hill, where the purple buildings are, or pinky purple buildings are. But all those people who are on the shrouded council for the entire city, the ones who are from Unvain will live in this area on the right, which is partly why it isn't mapped, because they don't like it being mapped that well. So, as you guys get to the bridge, there are several redcoats standing around with pole axes, and they have rifles slung over their shoulders. And they're admitting people one at a time, looking over credentials and things like that. And as you guys, I assume your guys are going. This is the only way you can cross. I assume you guys are going to try and cross.
I was going to check some of the drunk people that were falling ill. Do they look like they would be well enough dressed to be at the party?
No, not in this area of the city. No,
there's not anyone that's just
no
tumbling around.
In fact, you guys are getting glances, and a few admiring glances are going towards Dennis. And there's a few wolf whistles coming from bawdy houses that are above the street level. As you guys get to the river, one of the redcoats steps forward and says, "Business, what your business in the noble district?"
We're here for the party.
All right, which one's that then?
That's Rex's part. 1 second. This is me just check. This is out of me.
Yeah, that's fine.
Checking my notes. We're up
We
for
would have rehearsed this a little better.
yeah. We're up for Andres' party. Andres Galloway's party.
He nods
Up
and
at the
says,
old up at the old Workworth.
"Ah." He nods and says, "And who are you escorting there, may I say?"
Well, this is Denise, our fine lady from Valentia.
He offers to take your hand, Dennis.
I like
Uh,
to hold my hand out, clearly like
Mhm.
tearing off.
He
So
he
notices I'm blind.
he kisses the hand and says, "My lady, you may pass, all of you. These three can go." And that the bridge is.
Sangren is kind of do the whole the nod from first like the similar employment sort of.
Yeah, just yeah. Thank you. That sort of thing. Yeah, cool.
I do the fancy bow with a dress to the sides.
Mhm. Like a curtsy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys head
You
across.
just do it off in some random direction.
So you guys head across the bridge.
Yeah.
And the bridge is quite rickety. It's made of stone and wood. But as you get across the other side, the noises and the bustle of the port district sort of ebb away. The houses here are like townhouses, so they're not affluent, shall we say, but they're not as closely packed together as the rest of the rundown district. And on the main hill to your left, you can actually see the burned out corpse of a castle, on which fires are still burning, as in torches and things like that. You can see people milling around. Are you guys going to head straight there?
I'm gonna see if there's anything. I'm just gonna watch people. I'm just going to stand outside and watch for a minute, just see if there's any people like recognizable faces or anything.
So, but you're going to the castle first, I'm
Yeah,
guessing.
yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Is everyone okay with that? Heading to the castle?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So the castle grounds themselves, there are people milling around outside. General people who aren't important enough to get in. There are people on the door who look like burly guards. They look kind of like redcoats, like on the door, just standing around. And they're not really checking credentials, but they're patting people down, the men down. The women they are giving a cursory glance to and then allowing entrance. You see generally people walking around, doing their own thing. And inside the castle, you can just about see the open courtyard of the castle, which is kind of like there's a place in where I live called the Bombed Out Church, which is like a church without a roof. And they have like concerts in there sometimes, and it's kind of like that. So it's like an open air with stone walls all around you, with grass, with turf on the floor, which is kind of blackened by fire. But you can see people just hanging around there, drinking, milling around, and there is a balcony you can see at the upper end of this open courtyard area where someone can obviously walk out and address the crowd.
Mm. Fair enough.
And we get them, I'm mingling. By mingling, I guess exploring.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys are going to head in, I'm guessing?
Yep.
Alrighty.
Yeah, I'll pick up some canapes or whatever and make it look like I'm meant to be there.
Yeah. So the guards on the door, they say, names, please.
Gilberto Riviera Valentia.
And the Lady Denise.
He writes it down, says, right. Well, how would you like to be introduced?
Professor Filberto, please.
He nods, Professor Alberto. Specialising in
Gunsmithing.
gunsmithing. And Lady Denise, how would you like to be known?
I would.
I nudge Sangern. Give me a give me a
we
surname.
would have had. I think we agreed on Valentia, right?
Yes.
So, I would turn towards them and say, should prefer to be introduced as Lady Denise of Valentia.
He nods. Right.
Wouldn't it kind of imply that I'm of the royal family of Valentia if he just drops of
Well, you could be
Valentia?
you could be the royal house or something.
Yeah,
It
you
doesn't
could-
have to
Or
be
just,
your-
well, I mean, you would be, you'd just be a noble from Valentia.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
you
we
would
probably
you would
should-
have the Lady Venice, then you would add like Queen or Princess or something of Valentia, or
Yeah, I think
Duchess
I
or whatever.
probably should at least make up a surname if I'm pretending to be a noble.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
We can have pre-agreed
Okay,
that.
so I add Lady Denise Oakswoodburn of Valencia.
Oaksburn.
Oakswoodburn, because he stumbles, obviously.
Well, I mean, we would have established this beforehand, right?
yeah, you can do a little rewind and establish
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oaksburn.
so they nod.
The Lady Denise Oaksburn of Valentia.
They nod and say, "Need the men in the party to line up, please, and spread your
and I
arms
would-
and your legs."
Yeah.
I mean,
So they pat you guys down. Have any of the men in the party, men quote unquote in the party, have weapons on them?
Yeah, and I'm going to tell the guard that I have a particular prized weapon on me.
Which is?
I will pull out this very ornate pistol that I was given.
He looks
It's
at it.
Unloaded.
He looks at it and
I've
says,
been waiting to show it to the Lord.
"He's like,
Gift for him.
he said it's a good piece. I'm sure Lord Andres would be very happy with it." Pat him down, Carvo. Pat him down. I need to know there's no ammunition in there. And he gives you a thorough, arse crack the lot. Like it goes right in there. He's like, "No, nothing on him." So he turns the gun around like barrel first and gives it back to you. Says, "Have a nice evening, sir."
Thanks.
And then, Sangern, do you have any?
nah, his plan is that if something comes up, he's going to take a weapon or he's going to beat somebody for their weapon, and then use their weapon against others.
That's fine. So there's nothing like that. Okay, cool. So they let you in. Have a nice evening, sir. And they give Denise, the Lady Denise, a cursory glance up and down as they go around, and they nod and say,
A little less than cursory on certain areas.
"Yeah," and they say, "In you go, darling, in you go."
And I'll cast a glance at and say, "She's too good for you, man."
Oh, ouch.
And he nods and goes, "We get that a lot."
Sanger's trying very hard not to facepalm. He's just going to step forward to keep himself from having to, be involved in this conversation any longer than he has to be.
Hey, I'm trying to act like I'm one of the high.
A snooty noble.
Yeah, snooty noble.
and which is why he's not, actually saying anything. But he also needs to not be involved in this any longer.
So, I have a nice picture of the castle.
A nice picture of the burnt out castle.
Of the burnt out castle. There we go. There we are.
Cool.
Obviously more burnt out than that. It's not.
Fancy.
Yeah. So it has a few towers and turrets and things, and generally, it's a pretty nice place. It's a pretty nice place. The walls behind they go off into nothingness, but below there are more buildings. It's kind of a show of how big New Corinth actually is. In that this is just the Anvain port district. It's not like the main part of the city at all. So you guys are kind of inside, but not really. You guys are in the opening courtyard, and the opening courtyard is not the inner sanctum of this place. You know that without an invitation, you can certainly get to where you are right now, which is the open courtyard, but you can't get any further into the castle without a direct invitation.
Gotcha.
Time to acquire an invitation.
You may try to acquire an invitation. How are we going to go about that?
I'm going to see if there's any any other academics milling around in the crowd.
Sure. Okay, go for it.
And see if there's anyone else similarly dressed.
Alrighty.
Which
Let
could
me
go
just-
horribly wrong.
I mean, technically you are, learned, right? So.
Yes, but it's a case of whether the faculty want to remember me is another matter entirely.
Well, just avoid people who are in the exact same robes as you.
Yeah, that's true. Or look a lot older, that somebody might need to look the same rank as me or my junior.
Okay, let me just do a quick roll here. It's yeah. Okay. So,
Oh god.
as you walk around, your eyes are immediately drawn to an emerald green robe with the snake and impaled sword of the University of Valentia on it. And
Awkward.
the man wearing it looks around and immediately spies your garb and then your face. And you can see him mutter under his breath, "Well, fuck me."
And I will, and I'll look at him and be like, I'll just take that moment to process, as if I'm acting as if I hadn't seen him, and just be like, "You want to give them a name?" 'Cause I would know them.
Yeah. I mean, let me just. Yeah. Bresciano.
Retiano. Hey, Retiano. Long time. Old friend.
He nods and says, "Yes, I was rather hoping that the last time I saw you at the expulsion meeting would be the last time I saw you, Filberto."
Why? What did you hope? That I would disappear and never continue my research? I found good funders, good backers that pay for my work.
He
Unlike
says,
you and the White Council.
He says, in New Corinth, I am not surprised. I too am here looking to drum up more work for the university. That's all I'll be able to say.
What, are you looking for alumni donations or something?
Quite. I bid you good night. And he turns round to his confidant and carries on talking. In fluent Valentian as well, so you can kind of hear what he's saying, but it's nothing of import.
I'll just mutter under my breath, prick.
Oh, under your breath.
Yeah, I'll mutter under my breath, prick.
So you can see
Is
the
it loud enough for him to hear?
Yeah, I will make that loud enough that he can hear.
He's not gonna react. He's an academic. He's not gonna Plus, he knows you could probably kill him, so he's not gonna try. So, looking around, you can see there are several. Well, not several. That there are around 100 nobles standing around, drinking, discussing the great political events of the day, discussing how the war's going with the Duskfall Empire and who's making what in the whaling trade, and what companies are worth, what firms are worth investing in, and what aren't. But aside from that, you don't really see that much. Yeah, there are people milling around. Everyone do a wits roll, but it's a perception roll, so add +2 to it, please.
Perception is...
It's wits, but +2.
You're seeing things for once.
Uh-oh. It's roll, not...
Yeah,
Yeah, I forgot how to roll.
So, Sangun, you're looking around and you can see there is a man standing nearby with a shock of grey hair. He looks rather like he's got a paunch on him. And he looks like he's got a mayoral chain around his, around his neck. And he's nursing this wine, but he's looking at you aghast, like he knows you. And he doesn't know it's like he doesn't know whether to come over and say hello or wave out to you at all.
Do I know him?
No, you've never seen him before in your life.
Huh.
But he's really
I'll ignore...
I
mean, I'll see it. I won't recognize him, so I'll just kind of ignore him. I'm gonna assume that he's, maybe he's attended one of the fights at the Fight Club thing. and just
yeah.
doesn't want to admit that he goes down to those.
Maybe, yeah, cool.
That's his reasoning.
Cool. So he's looking at a friend, and like nodding to you and like saying something, and like just he looks generally perplexed.
So I'm gonna kind of lead Dennis, in a way that'll take us, that I can kind of move out of their line of sight, reasonably quickly without like looking like I'm, running off.
At that moment, you hear, Messer Professor Filberto of the Valentian University, specializing in gunsmithing, accompanying Lady Denise. And what was the second name?
Oakwood.
Oakwood.
Then Lady Denise Oakwood of Valentia. And then there is like a people that turn around. Dennis, roll a presence roll. I'm gonna roll 1 second. Don't roll anything yet. I want to roll. I just want to roll.
You got to get your makeup bonus.
I want to roll 10d6 just to see how good the makeup was.
That would eat. It'd be
Two
funny
sixes
if you
in
rolled
there.
that one.
There's 2 6s in there.
Average.
2 6s, that's fine.
Kind of, 2 6s.
So, roll for me a presence roll +1, 2, +2. Presence roll +2. You got 1 success. I'm going to give you a reroll there. You got 1 success. I'm going to give you a reroll.
And I get, just have a moment where it's like he's starting to stumble, so Sangren kind of like,
yes,
like acts like he's pointing him in the right way. And
so
puts his back up.
Yeah, so Denise like looks the wrong way, and you just turn him around to face the crowd, and she looks stunning. Like everyone just like, oh, and it's like, oh, like this, because apparently like the makeup you have on doesn't look like anyone else who's here. It looks like it's ahead of the game, sort of a thing. And everyone will be talking about this on the circuit for quite a while, and they all start like talking, and you can see whether you can see whether there's a few noblemen who are looking over like, I need to go and speak to this person a bit later on, sort of a thing, and then eventually you're yanked away by Sangern into a corner.
Kind of like just the general standing by and letting him do the bow, and then kind of the ducking away as let the party resume, quote unquote, while I'm just trying to get away from whoever that was. And and then I would ask Filiberto if he has any idea who this person who's staring at me is, just in case, because Filiberto has all those weird children running around.
I have the weird children.
Oh no, sorry, Filiberto. Dennis.
Denise.
Denise.
Would I know who stared at us?
I would have pointed them out as we were coming.
Yeah. I mean, if I would know them to the.
You probably wouldn't know. No, you probably don't know who this guy is from Adam. No.
Yeah, then I don't know.
We judge just on the basis of what they look like.
Yeah. So, do a witch roll for me, Filiberto. Do a witch roll. Oh yeah, this guy's a judge. He has the bearing of a judge. He's wearing the judge regalia. So he is someone who passes law in the courts.
Fair enough. You happen to know a judge? Sangern?
Not that I'm aware of.
You ever had any trouble with the law?
No, actually.
Yeah, he's looking at
Sangern
Sangern
give
like
a side eye to Dennis.
I have never been caught either.
You stated you've never been caught. Interesting choice of words.
I wrote that story literally last week with you guys.
You watched it happen.
I know. I'm just pointing out that we're in high society, so saying something like,
Well,
"Oh,
I
I just
imagine
robbed
we're
this shop
talking
last."
under our.
Yeah, I whisper it into his ear, like I'll lay
Okay,
him
fair
down.
enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, I imagine we're talking under our breaths because
Yeah.
we're still keeping up appearances. Anyways, it doesn't matter. He's probably been to one of the fights in disguise.
Somebody approaches you from that group. Looks like a well-dressed porter. He says, "Excuse me, sir. My lord would like to have a word with you."
Is he speaking directly to me, or is he speaking to one of the?
Directly to you.
And who exactly is your lord?
Lord Havelock, sir. He's a judge. He seems to know you.
I'm gonna turn towards the other two. It's like, keep an eye on her for me, Filiberto. I shall return as soon as I've dealt with this matter.
Yeah. I'm
So
sure Denise can handle herself as well.
I'm pretending to be blind.
So are you
That's
walking?
why it's like just to make it's basically for me to make a show of having someone keeping an eye on her since I'm the escort.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, makes
Yeah. Okay. So you walk over to Lord Havelock, and he looks you up and down, and you can see like there's relief palpable on his face, and he says, "Listen, I'm terribly sorry. I appear to have made a rather large error. You're not who I thought you were. I'm very, very sorry. I thought you were a friend of mine. Very good friend of mine."
I'm like right up close to him. Is there anything that I can recognize about him or his scent?
Do a wits roll. Are you trying to do the vampiric like draw in of breath?
I'd like to know who this is, and
Okay,
I'd like to
add
be
one
able to
stress
recognize him later.
and do it, and do your.
Yep. Hold on.
You're getting hungrier, but
So since I'm using my stoke the blood, can I use my full wits roll?
yep. Ready.
Sixes.
All right, so this guy reeks of blood. This guy must have drank quite a lot before he came in today, and you can smell from his wine glass that it is at least 50% blood in there. In fact, it's making you very, very thirsty. And as soon as you do that, his eyes sort of go wider, and he just looks to the side.
I'm gonna just kind of, take like a half step up to him, just kind of close the distance without being too menacing. But it's like, I suggest you keep, you're more careful about who you claim to recognize, and make sure you don't overindulge.
He just nods and says, he looks straight at you and says, you really could be him. And he just looks at you like he can't understand how you're not the guy who he thinks you are. And he looks over to your group and says, if you don't mind me asking, why are you here?
My lady. Do I need another reason?
I think we are both well aware, my friend, that the gifts that we both...
As he, if he's eyeing at Dennis while he's saying that, I'm gonna take like another small step.
Mm-hmm. So he says, I think you're well aware that the gifts that we both have allow us to see through charades such as this. Now, have no fear from me.
I assume he's whispering.
Yes.
Now, right?
He says, have no fear from me. I will not out you to the crowd or anyone here. I am no friend of the host of this party. But I will ask, why are you here?
And then I'm gonna, just kind of lean in and, not obviously conspiratorial, but two friends sharing a secret kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's we are also not friends of the host of this party.
He nods and says, nah, In that case, perhaps peer to peer, so to speak, you may do a job for me whilst you are here. You're capable.
I'll just nod, kind of, with like, this, like trying to have a smile of someone who's just been told like a fun story or a joke.
He gets a large cigar out of his pocket and lights it, and he goes, "Do you partake?" Louder, so people can hear what you're saying.
No, I've never developed a taste for it.
Yeah, he lights it and goes, "Yeah, one of the main draw forwards of our mixed blood, I'm afraid. We can still enjoy things like this when our forebears could not." And he lights the cigar and takes a long toke. It says,
Mixed blood.
Well, he's not full vampire, is he?
Oh, okay.
So these are Nightkin talking to Nightkin. So they can still eat,
yeah.
they can still drink, they can still do all that stuff. They just need to drink human blood. It's like a heroin addiction.
Yeah.
So he's
But you guys aren't hearing this, I don't think.
No.
I've
No.
stepped away.
So he takes a toke and says, "I wish Lord Andres to grant me trade rights on the Siltstride docks. Around 3 miles towards the sea. You probably crossed the bridge when you came here. I will pay for the deed to the docks that Andres keeps locked in his office." How does that sound?
I think that can be arranged.
He nods and says, and you would find this really weird that he's trusting you so much, but when Nightkin meet Nightkin, they're generally despised and hated, so if one outs the other, they're both fucked, basically. So it's like
Mutual assertion,
yeah,
right?
you know you're not going to betray each other, basically, so yeah. He just nods and says, "Do you know a man named Lucius, by the way?"
Do I know a man named Lucius?
No.
I don't believe I do.
No. It's really
No,
incredible.
I'll just say I'm not. The name is not familiar.
It's really incredible. You look exactly like him. Anyway, I'll bid you adieu. Whenever you have the deeds, please feel free to come and give them to me, and I will pay you, shall we say, 5,000 shillings?
I imagine, like, I'm not too well aware of what the value of those things are.
Mm-hmm.
But I imagine I would assume he's lowballing me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just kind of give him like a little side eye.
He just says, "Sorry, I appear to have misspoke. I meant 8.
And I'm gonna nod. It's like, I also, before he heads out, I'll be like, also, if you would happen to have, shall we say, a spare invitation, it might make our business a little more. It's out of character. I'm trying to remember the word. Not like fast, but
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of words right now.
Convenient."
Close, but like more like with like the speedy connotation.
Whip.
Huh?
Swift, yep.
Swift. Our business might be able to be concluded more swiftly.
He says, "Well, you do realise that if I give you my invitation, that I will no longer be able to get inside the premises to do what I wanted to do, which is take those deeds. But I'll give it
Would
to
you
you.
rather maintain your anonymity?
I'll give it
Just
to
as
you.
a whisper.
I will give it to you. But for the inconvenience, I would like to lower our agreed sum to 7,000 shillings. I was rather looking forward to some of the whores in there."
I'm sure if you can take the 1,000 and find it well spent at Sharice's.
He nods, and his eyes go glassy.
He's got
And
a
then
fun
I
night
will-
ahead of him.
So I'm gonna
He gives you the invitation. It has no name on it. It's just an invitation to the inner hall, inner sanctum.
So I'll give him a the curt nod, the appropriate curt nod for
Mhm.
someone of the station I'm dressed at,
Mm-hmm.
and step away.
Okay. He nods and goes back to his guests. Well, the people who are with him.
Yeah. They're guests in his presence.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I'm turning on the air conditioning. It's getting a little warm out here.
Are you guys Are you going to head back over to Filberto and Dennis?
Yes, and I will let them know that I've managed to, wrangle an invitation, like quietly, in exchange for, I need to get something out of his office after the deed is done.
Fair enough. Anything particular that he wants?
Some paperwork.
Ah.
Ooh, that might be hard if I am the one to offer him.
Out of curiosity, do you think he was our funder? Someone like him would clearly stand to gain, surely, if he wants paperwork. He's obviously got some plan. Well, I would suss on to the fact that paperwork would be that he wants to fleece them financially in some way or rob them. Well, he wants their assets. He wants his assets.
Yeah.
I would work that out. So I'd say maybe this guy, maybe that your judge friend could be the one that was paying us for this job in the first place.
It could be. Could not. It might not be. Either way, as long as we get paid, I suggest we move along with the job. And I'm gonna, kind of gesture towards the entrance to the main castle.
So if we have a look at the map I just put on, you guys are in room number 2 right now. So room number 1 seems to be a vestibule, but it seems to be where a buffet has been laid out in room number 1. And you can see the walls of this castle are kind of crumbly. They're not very, very large. They're not very sturdy. But it sort of adds to the ambience of the place. The chapel, you can see on the inside that is a quiet area. There's no one really in there. The great chamber is one part of the inner sanctum, and so are the kitchens, which are over there. And the pantry and buttery is where most of the food and wine is kept. And on the left-hand side, the unmarked room. This is on the back of the invitation. The unmarked room is noted as a private area. Please do not approach this area. Guards will be posted. Exactly. You'll be challenged if you're trying to go into this area.
Ah. Unless you're the big boss man with his lady friend.
Of course.
Oh,
Is that the
big
pleasure
boss
room?
man, then.
Well, it doesn't say.
Okay. Do we see any scantily clad courtiers around?
Question is, where would be the circles that the kid drew on this picture? The ones,
Okay, so
extra exits.
the circles would be directly above number 4 on the wall. Okay.
Okay.
The one circle would be in the vestibule. So if you can see the hourglass shape to the top right of the vestibule in the wall, that is another one.
Hourglass shape.
Yeah, it's sort of like an upside down cup shape, an upside down
And
chalice.
like on the wall that's to the top right.
Yeah.
The diagonal wall.
Yeah, of
Top?
number 1. And
Right.
Of
Okay.
of area 1.
Okay, I see it.
essentially, any part of this wall where you can see through it is where you can get out. So number 2 on the right hand side, further up, there's like 4 strands of wall rather than the actual wall. That's one,
Yeah.
that kind of a thing. So I'm going to let you go to eat any of those and slip out or in. Essentially.
Okay, so okay, so I'm
We
gonna
need
try my best guesses then.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be here.
Sorry, where?
Yes, that'll be a good way of doing it. Yes, definitely.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Got it.
Yeah.
So,
Alrighty.
I mean, I think our way to start is, well, I think that the main, Sangren's main thought is to see if we can't get a guard to, mention to our esteemed host that the lady Denise would want to potentially have a private word with him.
Okay.
Obvious.
So I'm going to
Like,
try and
He'd like to have a formal introduction.
I'm going to try and transition you guys into the out of the main party to where the inner sanctum is, basically. So just so we can get to that point, are you guys going to approach the main doors to the inner sanctum and request entry with your invitation?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. The invitation is looked over, it's torn up, and then the doors are open, and you are all waved inside. And once you so from number 2. The doorway to the left hand side of number 2, at the bottom there that leads to number 4. This is like a narrow corridor from which you see people like sitting down smoking opium pipes. They're doing all sorts of drugs. People are snorting things off their wrists. And then as you head into room number 4, there are people on rugs having sex. There are copious amounts of wine bottles on the floor being drunk. It smells like the last days of fucking Caligula in here. And you can see the Lord from the picture that you have is not in this room, but there are a few guards milling around. So if you wanted to approach one and request a private audience, you could do. A few admiring glances are already being thrown toward Lady Denise's direction, so that is something you could do.
Even in the room where everyone's already having sex.
No, the people who are having sex are currently
like
predisposed to having sex, but there are other people there who are glancing around, even women who are glancing around and saying, "Oh, who's
I guess
this?"
they're all the voyeurs.
Mm-hmm.
You got somebody just like behind somebody else, and they're just like, "Oh, hey, you want to join?"
Yeah, people are like looking at her like, "Yeah, this is nice looking woman." She can.
Can I pick up an opium pipe? Or go to the opium?
Yeah, sure.
Opium guy?
Go over to the opium. I mean, I'm sure Dennis is like sweating at the moment about the drugs that are on offer that he can't touch.
Just say that it's like...
I think for the sake of both of them, because I think at this point, what you guys said, I mean, like with Filiberto, I think it's pretty obvious that with all the weird chemicals and shit, that he's probably not best around opium. But would Thangren have been made aware of your opium needs in the briefs they received before they met?
I wouldn't be an opium addict. I was just going to indulge.
You wouldn't have been told private information about another Blackcoat now.
Okay.
No.
I think I would try to keep all 3 of us on task, if I can.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't it look kind of suspicious if none of us engage in the party activities?
I mean, well, we also can't let you engage too thoroughly, or else certain, concealed weapons might come to light a little early.
I'm sure we could help Denise take the edge off. She might be a bit nervous to see the Lord.
Let us at least first mention to, intimate to a guard that this is what we're aiming for before you guys get too carried away.
So you wave a guard over. He says, "How can I?"
I think we'd instead of waving one over, I think we'd approach some so that it's to kind of keep it more conspiratorial.
Okay. So, one leans forward and says, "Can I help you, sir? Would you like some opium, some red salt, some anything?"
The lady Denise here has heard some rather incredible rumors about our gracious host, and is hoping to have a bit of a private meeting, so to speak.
He looks over to Lady Denise and says, that is very nice, sir. That's very good. But no one sees the Lord Andres without first seeing me as constable of his guard, if you know what I'm saying.
You get to sleep with all of his women?
Only the ones I really like. And I really like this one.
As tempting as that, I'm sure that sounds to our lady. Her Lord Father sent her here unsullied.
Oh, I'm not saying that I'd be taking your virginity, my friend. Just a quick feel over the body, so be fine.
Good bit of slap and tickle.
Just wants to touch her boobs. Sorry, that was out of character.
Among other things, yeah.
Out
Lord,
of character.
shouldn't your lord at least be the first to come?
His eyes like light up, and he says, I will escort you to the Lord and pay you for 5 minutes of your time, my lady.
Very well, then wait for after the Lord is done.
Okay, roll a presence check with a +2. He's gonna need some
You guys
convincing.
are putting really good use into all these presence points you guys got last time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's almost like I knew what was going to happen. Yeah. So okay. So he nods graciously and says, "I will wait for you in the vestibule."
Oh my.
And he opens the door to what looks like an inner sanctum. So the leftmost room. You can see in there's a billiard table, and it's much quieter in here. There's a billiard table. There is
Wait, do I get to take
Yes, it's only
anyone
Denise
inside?
to go.
yes. You get to take
Okay.
your chaperones inside. There's no problem.
Okay,
with
that's good.
it.
I wondered if that would be okay.
So, inside there is a billiard table, there is a fireplace, there is several couches where women are reclining, and these are like high-class escorts, basically. And there are a few men sitting around. There's a few with similar change to the judge outside sitting around. And you do see, at the head of the billiard table, talking and playing billiards, the Lord Andres Galloway.
Well, I would have Sangren lead me to him.
Okay.
And I would do so.
So
I'm gonna mingle a bit.
So he
Okay,
looks up
you
from the billiard game and says, "Oh, I say." There's,
And I'm gonna do the a formal bow and said, "The Lady Denise Oakwood of Venetia."
he takes her hand and kisses it.
Yeah, I do the bow.
Curtsy.
The fancy one.
He says, "My lady, this is very forward. We are supposed to be viewing the ladies and their ladies in waiting in an hour's time in the main hall.
I'm just gonna kind of lean in cautiously, but say her Lord Father wished to have her presented in private.
Mm-hmm. He
My
nods.
Do you really wish to wait so long?
A bunch of the blokes looking around are like, "Whoa, okay, this guy's lucky," and he
Which guy? Cough, cough.
yeah, and he looks and says, "Is this really what you want, my lady?
Well, a noble lady must do as her father tells her.
He thinks his luck's in here, but you're gonna need another presence roll, please, with +2.
Oh god. And this is when you roll 4 ones. Oh.
One.
So
Can I help by kind of making it seem like it's nerves and say, and just kind of bring up the Lord, my Lord has very specific instructions that she were to remain pure, that you two may, that you and he may develop a more intimate relationship in the future.
Okay, for that, I'm going to allow Dennis to do a reroll, so she composes herself.
Come on, Dennis. Believe in you.
Well, this one's on the dice.
No.
Really?
So she there's no successes there, no. He looks and says, as much as I would like to, this is not the done thing, I'm afraid. This is beyond the pale. But I would thank Lord Oakwood, is it, of Lentia? I would thank him for his interest. And please show me any portfolios of any dowry that would be forthcoming, and I'm sure I would be very happy to meet Lady Denise later for a drink. In the great hall, of course.
Thinking out of
Sorry,
character.
my lord, I am not such an easy woman. I will just report to my father, as he wished to not see me, that you wish to not see me.
And he stops and says, I didn't say that. I said I would see you later on for a drink. I cannot simply leave my friends here. We are conducting important business, he says as he cradles his pool cue.
Well, why shall I not wait with you then?
He says, I like a woman with spirit. Do one last presence roll.
Well, do I get any bonuses for the nice
Yes. Do it +3. +3.
Come on, Dennis. We need this. We need you to get in there.
Oh.
Oh yeah. We're
Okay.
Banging.
All right.
Oh, she banging.
He stops and says, "Get out, all of you." And they all look to him and they're like, "What? I get out. Get out. I want 5 minutes alone. 5 minutes. I need to discuss this. 5 minutes." And they all start filing out.
Can I use the kind of commotion as everyone heads out to try to head towards the more private areas?
Oh,
Like, in the general direction of his offices, maybe?
you're gonna need some skullduggery rolls. I'm gonna need give me a skullduggery roll with the commotion going on, so give it a +2.
Okay, I am going to
And
use...
for vampire powers too.
So one at a time. What does Sangan say?
I said I'm going to use my Stoke the Blood because I
Okay.
need it for skullduggery.
Okay.
So I will
Another
take that extra
stress?
stress.
Yep. Okay.
5
So
and a 6.
So you find a little alcove door that you just slip into. It's open. You just slip into it, and you can see there is an oaken desk in there, 2 bookcases on either side, a fireplace, and there is a window behind too. Looks like as you look, you sort of look out the window from where you are. It looks like it's like a 2-story drop into some grass, some shrub grass on the other side.
Okay.
This looks like the
Well.
office.
Time to get a looting.
All right, so you just sneak in there. Filberto, are you heading out with the rest of the nobles that have been told to leave?
Yeah, I'm gonna act like I'm lost and a bit confused. Like I'm gonna go. Where are we supposed to go? And just waste time by asking people where am I?
So you're pulling eyes away from Sangun. Good.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to give Sangun some more time in the office for that. That was good. Okay, cool. So you are generally fulfilling as you get out, and you're now back in the party. Somebody offers you an opium pipe, and you can do
Calms
whatever
you
you
down
wish.
real quick.
Yeah, it's like handing a kid a lollipop.
Back to the main event, so to speak. So, Denise, what are you doing at this point?
The main event.
Well, do I have literally 5 minutes with the Lord?
You've got as much time as the Lord allows.
Okay,
As long as
first
you
of
can
all,
keep him busy.
first I'm gonna use my wound sensing to see if he has any wounds I could quickly exploit to just off him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do it without the vampire powers.
Okay.
That would be...
You can sense there are no wounds on him, but all of the blood in his body is pooling in a erogenous region.
Well, I grab his dick.
Okay.
I mean, okay.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's what he was going for.
Wait,
So-
and as if to just silence him in a way to don't release a moan, so it seems natural, I cover up his mouth.
Oh, okay. So you're taking charge.
I think
Okay,
I
okay, so-
definitely think he's into this.
So before he muffles like, "Oh, I'm not sure," and before we go any further, what is your aim here?
Silence his mouth and bite into his neck to kill him as fast as possible.
His neck. Thank God. Okay. So
I'm just gonna put it out there. Most of his blood is not in his neck right now.
Well, if I squeeze it hard enough, it will go back.
Oh god. Okay, so
I'm just putting it out there.
you're going for his neck, right?
Yes, can I use Stoke the Blood to
Now,
just...
now you can use stoke the blood. Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna just... What do I roll to just suck it all out of him as quickly as possible?
Um. Roll stoke the blood. Roll stoke the blood for skullduggery 5 times.
See how fast you can suck.
Mm,
Do you guys remember Spaceballs?
See,
Yeah.
if someone if someone left as he held the dick and then came back, all they do see is the holding of the dick and how long does it take to suck him off? Has anyone seen Spaceballs?
Yeah.
No, that's what I was
okay,
saying.
so
Spaceballs with Mega Maid.
Yeah.
2 and 1.
Alrighty. So, so you go for his neck and you kiss him and then bite down, right? He immediately goes to yell, but you're holding him firm. I need a strength check from you, please, just to hold on.
Uh-oh.
Would he be able to use the suck the blood?
But
since he's currently
add
drinking
plus
blood?
add yes, but add +2 to this because he's not expecting you to be as strong as you are, because you're a man.
Do I need a separate Stoke the Blood or the original still applies?
Original still applies.
Okay.
Oh shit, yeah. So he's got no chance. So he's expecting a woman to just throw. He can just throw her off, but he's got no chance. You just like hold him, and eventually he just goes limp in your arms, and you just drain.
I bet he does.
You just drain him of all of the blood in his body. It takes a couple of minutes, and he's there twitching. Please add a permanent 1 to one of your core stats for draining
Wow.
somebody completely
No.
of their blood.
I'm gonna do that for strength.
Okay.
I mean, all of those things, you know, out of context, still work.
But you now have. You get a +1. Let me just go here. You get a +1, but you do have an addiction. It is a -4 level addiction.
No, it was the -2. You told me that the -2 was enough.
No, it's been increased.
That's going to increase because you're, you know what I mean. You're diving into it.
Feeding your addiction.
Yeah. So it's a -4 of blood. So you're addicted to blood.
Okay, -4 blood addiction.
Yeah. So in the next couple of, if you don't get it again in the next couple of hours, you're going to take another stress. Alrighty. So,
I got my orphanage.
are you going to do anything to finish him off to make sure he's finished off, or are you going to?
I mean, is there any windows in this room?
No. This is a private room.
Well, a knife to the neck is always good enough.
Right, so you just sink the knife in, bang. There's no
Um,
resistance, just bang, just
can I
dead.
just quickly hide him behind the sofa?
Sure, yeah. You just hide him. You just lay him on the sofa if you want, or hide him behind the sofa.
Yeah, behind, so that when people come in, they don't find the corpse instantly.
Cool. Now what are you gonna do?
Well, I need to look at all the fancy cracks. We're in the room number 6, right?
You're in. Can you see number 5? You were in the upper room to the left, the one that doesn't have a number.
Okay, this one does. So I would need to
Do
walk out.
Do a wits roll for me with a +2 because you're looking for a way out. You're kind of desperate looking for a way out at the moment. You can see a door is open in the room. It's not heading out to where the nobles were. It's like another room.
I mean, at this point, I could probably just walk out, but I have my partners in crime.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And
I'd
also, the
walk.
moment you leave, other people are gonna head in.
Yeah, that's the other problem. Oh, I think I'm gonna need to do a distraction. I'm gonna, say it. I'm thinking because if I was thinking of going out and dropping a stick of dynamite outside the window, but as soon as I go out, people will start coming in.
Mhm.
So So okay, I'm gonna head to the secret room, or whatever, the open door room.
Okay.
If it's the room I went to, I definitely would have
It is.
closed it behind me for safe.
Okay.
Um,
Cool. I thought you would have
not
left it
like
open just to check on what she was doing, but that's
Okay,
fine.
if it's closed, I'm just gonna walk up and like knock and like, hey, we're done here.
All right, you hear that? Are you ransacking the room, Sangun, or are you just turning things over?
I mean, I would have started off by checking through the desk
Mm-hmm.
and checking for potentially like a wall safe or something like that. But
There
I
is
don't
there is
find
a
anything...
there is a black lockbox in the desk. As you open it up,
That's coming with me.
okay, and there is also you don't really see anything, but you do see. I do a wits roll +2.
Okay.
I'm also going to load the revolver while we're at it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
One success.
So you can see on the wall there's like an indent on one of the books where it looks like it's been moved quite a lot.
Yep.
Like
Let's check it out.
so if you when you move your hand over it, it sort of slides inwards, sort of like it's on wheels. And do you want to click it forwards or backwards, or?
If it looks like it's been normally pushed in, then I'll push in.
You push in, it clicks, and that part of the bookcase comes away on a hinge, and there is a safe in there.
All right.
Again,
I'm
you
gonna
want me
call.
to pick it
At this point, has Dennis called in?
At this point, Dennis has knocked on the door. Yes.
I'm gonna hold up, and come on in quickly. Actually, say lock the door to the outside and come in quickly.
Mm-hmm.
There's no need to lock the door. We need to get out quickly, or at least you can buy some more time.
Yeah, we're not going out the back. We're not coming out through the party.
So, Dennis, when you enter the room, you can see the window. If you're looking for a way out, you know what I mean, that your eyes will be drawn to that window.
Okay, so yeah, that's the way. Sargon can keep doing his thing, and I flee through the window.
Okay, so you just
before you
book
leave,
it.
Okay. Right,
You
before
gonna
you leave,
open the
like,
window
there's
or
a
you
safe
just-
here.
Smash
I'm
the door?
trying to get. I want to get Dennis on the safe because I know he's like, BB, sneaky.
Well, we can take the safe with us if there's a window.
Depends on how big the safe is.
It's pretty heavy.
Yeah, it's probably not something we can carry. We probably, I don't know. Can I have a look at it?
Well, you're not
You're
there.
not there.
You're outside.
I thought. Oh yeah, I was outside, wasn't I? Yeah.
You're
Okay.
chugging on an opium pipe right now.
We
yeah,
can
yeah.
either try to be sneaky, or we can just feed the dynamite into the safe, but that will attract attention.
Just
because
hold that thought. Filberto, it's been 10-15 minutes. The nobles that were in with Lord Andres have sort of figured out that he's probably banging this woman, so they've gone and milled around doing their own things now. Some of them found holes, you know, they've pretty much given up on finishing their billiard game. What are you going to do?
I'm going to be sitting there smoking. I'm going to be enjoying smoking my opium pipe,
Yeah,
and I'm going to see if I can chat to the constable and say, "You were trying to get that Denise woman. You're trying to get."
he nods and says, "Well, I'd call it a flesh tax, yeah."
Flesh tax, nice touch. Nice touch. You've been doing that a lot around here.
He just shrugs and says, "Whenever I can, sir. Whenever I can." How was the
you know.
audience? How was the audience going between the young lady and?
I think they'll get on really, really well. I think they'll get the Lord Oakwood is very good at educating his daughters on how to please men, shall we say?
He looks a little disgusted. He's like, yes, excuse me one
He's
moment.
expecting a little bit more of a hands-on approach
Yeah,
than we were intimating.
yeah. Are you hoping to do anything else? He's pretty much finished with the conversation. He's letting it drift.
I'm gonna let it drift and I'm going to keep it up. I'm gonna stand close to the door.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm just gonna sit there smoking my pipe and being a voyeur.
Do a witch roll for me, and add +2.
I mean, now would be a pretty ideal time for you to be elsewhere, but you know.
Oh shit. So you can pretty much hear the commotion that went on,
Mhm.
and you can guess what's happened, and you can also hear another door opening inside, and then voices, and the two voices are ones that you actually, recognize.
Yeah.
So that
I'm
it's Sangun and Dennis talking to each other.
yeah. I'm gonna knock soft. I'm gonna try to.
Can you
knock
get to the door, or is the guard in front of it?
Oh, there's a guard in front of it.
There is
then
no
I
guard.
will-
There is no guard in front of it. You were speaking to the guard who'd moved on to the other side of the room. So there's no guard in front of it.
Sorry, I was asking if the guard was.
No,
front of it.
no.
Yeah. I will knock softly and whisper and say, "Lady, are you okay?"
Okay, so Dennis, do a witch check, just to check if you heard that come through the door.
Yeah, I wonder because I'm like 2 rooms ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's one room off actually.
One room off. Yeah, it's not too far. Yeah, you heard it.
Probably hear it.
You heard it. Yeah.
Did
Okay.
Would Sangren have heard it?
Yeah, I would probably quickly like tip-tap over
Mhm.
and like crack open the door. Just come in already, and just come in already.
Mhm.
Okay.
So you do a skullduggery roll for me, Filberto, just to get into the room.
All right. This is my worst trait.
Hey, so as you go to get into the room, you sort of bustle through the door, and you close it behind you with like a kudunk, and you see like Dennis' eyes go wide with fury as you like clunk the door shut. And you look at him like, well, it's rude to leave doors open. And so but Dennis, you can only estimate that there'll be a minute tops before that door is open again, and they're coming back in.
Okay, I step out of the door.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna like because I've heard this thunk. I imagine.
Mm-hmm.
So I just stepped away from the stake, and after putting 2 and 2 together, I would can I ask like Filiberto, Dennis, see if you can get that safe open, and then I'm gonna try to push the billiards table up against the door.
Okay,
No,
cool.
no, no. I leave out of the door. That's for now what I do because there's no point barricading yourself in on a party.
But we can get out the other way, and we just murdered this dude.
Yeah, I'm gonna go by time. That's the thing.
I'd say we let the dude. He's probably going to come in and then we murder him. Or
It's not
how
gonna be
about
one person.
Denise? You stay near the door. You hide the body and try to flirt with the constable, and then murder him too.
Why do we need to murder the constable though?
Okay.
But
like
if he
Sanker's
gets,
like,
if he decides to poke his nose in too quick.
Okay, the plan that I'm gonna go is go up to another noble lady and say that the Lord also requests her presence. Basically, I want to imply that he wants a threesome.
Mm-hmm.
And that will buy at least some extra time.
Yeah. Okay.
Then are we gonna murder Are we just bringing in her to murder her?
I mean, we can either murder her or you can just steal her and ransom her off or something.
I mean, we don't have anywhere to keep her or any way of setting up a ransom. I think if we just barricade this door real quick, then we have time to break into the
We have a whole
safe.
secret library, and you have a whole additional whole secret club, and I have also an orphanage. We can clearly hide a random tied up woman somewhere.
Yeah, it's just a case of how do we get her out.
We throw her out of the window.
You have upwards about 30 seconds left before I'm going to open the door.
Alright.
Yeah, that.
Fine. Then go ahead.
Okay.
Get someone quickly. If there's any trouble, get in, and I'm gonna get ready to barricade the door.
Okay, I leave and I look for a woman which could be one of the high-class escorts.
Cool. You do see one like a sultry woman. Looks like she's from the Duskfall Isles.
Yeah,
And-
I stumble my way over to her and say, "The Lord would also like to request your presence alongside mine."
She looks
and
you
I
up.
say it loud so that the whole room hears.
Okay, so she looks you up and down. And the constable just chuckles and goes, "Lucky cunt." And then the woman just like looks at you and goes, "I'd be honoured." And she like takes your hand and stands up.
Let's have a pleasant evening then. And I lead the woman slowly in.
Okay. So you lead her in and close the door. I'm going to up the time. You got 5 minutes now before someone knocks on the door. Not opens it, but knocks. So like you open it and close the door. All right, cool.
Okay. Can I try to now knock out the woman quickly?
Yes, you can do that. I'm going to just do a quick perception roll for her.
Also, you just took one of the escorts, not any of the noblewomen. They're not probably going to be that affluent.
Yeah, but you can also
Okay.
just kill her off.
She hasn't seen the body. Hurrah! So she walks in and he's going to cosh her on the back of the head or something.
Sure, or suffocate her. No, better suffocate her by the neck because then she can scream.
Okay, so go for it. Do a strength roll for me.
If he looks like this isn't gonna work, he's
Okay.
angered. Oh, never mind.
So, yeah, you
Anger needs to help you.
You get in the crook of your arm and she's out within like a couple of seconds.
Yeah. Once he looks like he's got her, I'm gonna move over to Filiberto, see how he's doing with this safe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I
massive
will-
and shit, right?
Yeah, I will. I'll analyze the safe and see if it's.
Do a witch roll for me.
Yeah, sure. Can I say that this would be a savant thing?
Yep. Go for it.
Because I would probably be sitting there studying the mechanism,
Mhm.
sitting there going, "I've read a bunch of books."
Yep. So you're listening to this thing as you're.
Obsessively, I've read a few books obsessively on this particular sort of
Yeah,
safe
yeah.
cracking and stuff.
Sweet.
Ooh, not bad. 3, 6, and 2 5s.
All right. So you know, this isn't an old Kirkwood lock. You can actually use acid to burn through the mechanisms that should pop it open like a nut.
Fair enough. That'd be good. If I had some acid.
I
I didn't bring any with.
so you didn't bring any of your alchemical stuff with.
No, I left that. I only brought like poison and maybe a bit of alcohol, but no.
Okie
No,
dokie.
So I have to look at.
Well, you would know, rather, Sangren would, but Filiberto would know that if you put the, if you took like a bit of string with the, and like, you could actually like get the alcohol in it and sort of, fuck it up on
Lubricate
the
it.
inside.
Yeah, lubricate it a bit, I guess. Or I would probably do the thing that you do with safe cracking, which is you sit there with the tumblers or whatever.
Yeah. Go for it. Do another witch roll. You may keep the savant because we're still doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Very weird roll. That's a nothing basically. Yeah. Do it again. For each one of these goes past, a minute goes past. That's 1 minute. Not good enough. 2 minutes. Of the 5 you were given. Not good enough. 3 minutes. Good enough.
There we go.
So
there we go.
So after 4 minutes, finally you hear like a just when you're beginning to panic, Sangern, as Dennis staggers into the office room, you hear like a click and the door opens,
Do we see?
and immediately there is a extremely loud ringing sound coming from the safe.
Is
As
it
the door-
obvious
Son of a
where
bitch.
what's that from?
It's on the back of the safe. Looks like there's a mechanism that has been tripped as the door is opened.
I'm gonna say son of a bitch and just go back to the room and shove the pool table against the door.
Strength check, please.
All right, and so I get to use my giant on that.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, double check. That's not a great roll.
Shit. No successes. So the pool table refuses to budge, and when you look down, it is nailed to the floor. It is actually screwed into the floor.
Okay, can I just jump out of the window already?
Yeah, you are seconds away from.
Okay.
You did open the safe, by the way, Filberto, so you
Yeah.
can take what's in there if you
Yeah,
wanted to.
I'm just gonna loot everything. I'm
Yeah.
just not even looking.
Lots
what
of
it is, I'm
documents
just
and money. Did you just
Yeah.
stuff it into your? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna give up on the pool table, go back to the office, and throw like the desk in front of it,
Mm-hmm.
and then help looting. before we get the
Strength
fuck out.
strength check for me, please.
Yeah, I'll loot, so I won't be able to help with it.
Yeah. If I can't get successes on 2 different 66 rolls.
You just about managed to move in front of the door. Who was heading out the window first?
I just jump out for now.
Okay, so you just crack open the window and jump out into the night.
Are you going to use your dress as a parachute?
Well, it's loaded with metal, so it probably won't work.
Oh, okay.
So do a roll your
For
highest.
Batman.
Roll your highest stat, please. See how you land. Yeah, you land. You land in the grass and go rolling, and you're fine. You go sprawling a little bit, but you're okay. Your dress is
Okay.
ruined, but apart from that, you're okay.
I'd like to now. Can I now quickly run to one of the escape holes that were mentioned? Let me check which one it would. The
We're outside.
closest one would
I mean, we're
be.
outside.
You're outside right now.
Yeah. I want to go like back to from the outside to the hole to get in on top of room 4, because I understand that their closest would be the one in room 5, the big one.
outside.
Back in.
You are outside, but you can go back into the castle if you want.
No. I just want to. I should have expanded from the start. I want to throw dynamite into the hole
Mhm.
to get a distractions to buy the others more time, and then.
Go for it. Yeah, I'm going to let the others decide what they want to do first. You go running towards that nearest hole, though. That's fine. And you comically, like, you go into your crotch and you pull out this like long stick of dynamite from in your breeches. So, everyone else inside, what are you guys doing?
Is that dynamite in your pants? So you just happen to see me.
Yeah.
Quote. Oh, that's a quote. That's almost the quote of the party today. Almost.
Sorry. So yeah, I mean, just load up as much shit as I can and then out the window.
Alrighty.
And I can,
Roll your
is there,
highest stat, please. When you're going out the window.
since it's gonna be strength, and I'm gonna use the giant for that.
Yeah, you slam into the floor like it's nothing. You just slam into the fucking mud, like that you're ready to go. And Filberto, what are you doing?
I'm gonna see if we can't drag our unconscious.
And chuck her out the window.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chuck her out the window.
Strength check for me, please.
Oh no.
Oh god, this is my worst stat.
She's not
You
a
keep saying
vampire.
that about all of your stats.
No, that is that's it's wits and presents.
Like, doing this is extremely dangerous for the person being thrown out. By the way, just saying.
Yeah. Well.
She dies. She dies.
So Ivan Drago over there. She dies. She dies.
Oh, she said.
Yeah. So she falls directly on her head and breaks her neck.
Can I try to catch her as a woman comes flying out the window?
She doesn't go flying. She's more like so Filberto levers her out basically bit by bit, and she just goes falling right against the wall, straight down. So I will let you try and save her with a speed roll, swiftness roll, but it needs to be a bloody good one.
I mean, I'll try because if it's one of the courtesans, we don't want to upset those people.
Yeah, you can.
6.
And a 1 though.
Yeah.
Do a reroll. You get a reroll for that.
Because it's 2.
Okay.
2 6s and a 4.
Okay. So you pin her against the wall upside down. So you're almost like 69ing her as you swing her about and then lay her on the grass. And before long, Filberto drops down next to you. Filberto, roll that's not wits. Roll your highest stat, please.
That's physical stat.
Yeah, highest physical stat.
Oh no.
Or could he do presence so he could land like a super?
I could do swiftness.
So you land down, trudge down. Let's flip over to Dennis. Are you lighting the dynamite, throwing? Because you don't know they're out yet. Like, so are you lighting the dynamite?
I run up and chuck it in to provide a distraction.
Strength roll, please. Oh, Yeah. So you throw this thing, and it goes straight into the main courtyard and explodes. Chaos ensues. Absolute chaos ensues. You don't see what goes on. You can hear screaming, you can hear moaning, you can hear sheer panic sounds, and people streaming out of the castle on one side, away from you. You guys hear that go off.
Okay.
But Sangun and Filberto, do you guys want to roleplay a little bit? Because you've just seen a woman to get thrown out of a fucking window, and then land right next to you, and then Filberto just drops next to you.
That for us? Oh, I thought it'd be Dennis. That'd be we'd just be like, yeah, I'll say to Sagun, or just whisper to Sagun, he's coming with. No questions.
Okay, we're going to come back to this in a sec. Dennis, are you going to head back to the group to see if they come out of the window, or are you going to stay there, or are you going to just book it into the night?
I want to see if there's some sort of bushes I could hide in.
Do a perception roll, witch roll, +2 wits. No, you can't see anything around that's going to hide you in this dress.
Okay, then I would people know that the dynamite came out of the window, or is there just too much panic?
It's too much panic. It's too much
Okay,
panic.
then I just strip naked where I stand.
Mm-hmm.
Because, and start to like frantically wipe off the makeup because, I look very different without it. So
You can see that. Yeah, there's like a small stream there you can wash off in. So let's go back to Filberto and Sangun. So Sangun, you've just seen this woman come flying out of a window, and then Filberto just drops down next to you. And Filberto, say what are you going to say again?
I was just gonna set her, kind of set her down as comfortable as she can be, since there's just too much work involved at this point.
Mm-hmm.
He's unconscious, obviously.
So Filberto, say what you were going to say before. You said something before, but David
I'm
doesn't.
saying she's coming with, no questions.
Aren't our hands kind of full from all the shit we grabbed out of the safe?
They're in your jackets and stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
We're not going to be able to get across the bridge with her, not after the distraction not after the safe alarm has gone off.
Then we can find another way across the river, surely.
With an extra person? Better just leave her. She's not going to know us any better than anyone else we've come across.
She starts groaning as she starts coming around.
Let's leave. It's not worth trying to figure this out.
Aww.
No.
Aww.
I'm gonna put a finger up, and then kind of do like the whispering noise, and then point in the direction that I guess there's some muddy footprints. So
yeah.
Dennis is fucked off.
Filberto, you're pretty sure you're not getting this woman out of here without Sangun's help. So if he's not gonna do it, then that's.
Yeah, no. You should let me have the next one.
I'm just gonna head off.
So, you head off and you see like in a small stream, Dennis frantically wiping everything off of his face. He looks like he's got like a small pair of pantyhose on, and he's frantically like ripping bits of things off, bits of clothing off of him that look any sort of effeminate part of him, and he strips part of the pantyhose off so it looks like he's just wearing breeches. Quite nice breeches, flowery breeches, but still just breeches.
Probably could have used that on on another job later, but.
Can I muddy
Whatever.
the breeches so the flowers are not obvious?
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, you now look like any normal tramp.
Nice. I hand my fancy cane to Sangirl, and we probably can't go back together, so I'm gonna just head off home alone, pretending to be a tramp.
Okay, you just stagger off into the night,
Yeah.
and we'll focus on Sangun's bemused face as he looks at you staggering off into the shallows of this small dike river.
Is it cold out?
It's kind of cold, yeah, but if he can get home, he'll be all right.
I'm just like, probably should have just kept something for warmth, but all right.
I can always just rob a home on the way.
And that's where we'll leave this session. So, if you,
I can always just rob a hobo on the way.
I'd be okay if any of you need to get off. No worries.
Yeah,
But-
I probably will.
I'd be okay doing the housekeeping now if you want to do housekeeping now. If you want to tell me what you're going to be
I've got a
doing
minute.
in downtime.
It's up to you guys. I've got a minute.
I've got to head off, so I will.
All right, let's do housekeeping at the start of next session then. No problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Alrighty. All right. Next time you'll be back at the library, obviously, and we'll
Yeah.
explore what's going to happen next.
All right.
All right. See you guys later.
All right.
Have a good one. Bye.
Right.
All right. So that was the session 3 of Blackcoats. Hopefully you found that interesting and fun. I wanted to do a bit more of a lighter session this time around, just to make sure that you didn't think it was all absolute horrifying monsters every single week. But next week we will be back to the Blackcoats business. So what the hell are the Blackcoats going to be doing next for the Blackcoats themselves? They're going to get paid from this one, so they've got a bit of money to play with. They might be able to do up the library. They might be able to hire some agents or do some things that are, let's say, less than legal to make sure they're getting a constant stream of income. But apart from that, we'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.